Hey, what up, y'all? You know what it is. We on the Bull Light Network. I'm Bush. We got KB, Rabbit, my boy EST about to join us.
What's going
And,
on?
we found that this is shit that guys our age is interested in, and people are very interested in not just living in a box and going by the media and listening to the media. We gonna go ahead and get out the box and speak on, with intelligence and shit we know, research we did. You feel me? Today, we talking about Nibiru. This is the third episode of this conspiracy thing. Got a little shifty on the first two, but it was still a great, great podcast. So yeah, we getting into it. B Rabbit, let's set it all.
All right. Well, for anybody who isn't aware, we originally thought that we had 9 planets in our solar system, right? Because we counted Pluto as the 9th planet. Well, in recent years, they've discovered that Pluto is not a planet. It's actually a gigantic comet. It's got a tail, it's got mountains, it's got ice, but it's not a planet, okay? So basically, there's 8 planets in our solar system. There is, however, and it's been an idea for a very long time. It's not something that came up last week. Tens of thousands of years, if not longer. No, the Sumerians. It's been around since Sumerian time. But it's believed that there's a 9th planet called Nibiru, or Planet X. Now, the reason we would not have seen this just yet is because it's on a 10,000-year elliptical orbit. Can't really break down the way planets orbit. I would need a diagram of some sort, because it's not the way we know it to be or seen it in school. But anyway, apparently this orbit goes up and over, where the rest kind of go out and around. And that's why we haven't seen it. And
Can I ask you one question? Sorry, before you.
What's
the difference between a planet and a comet?
Size, effective gravity, and what was the other part? Like having temperature and all that shit. Like what is it? An ecosystem, basically. Like having like
living. So comets don't have living like things on it, but planets do. Is that what it is?
Not that we know of. And they're made up of severe heavy metals, all sorts of things. Diamonds, heavy metals, very valuable shit. But also, as I said, it has a tail. When it flies through the air, you can see a white or a blue tail off the tail of it, off the back of it, when you look very close.
Okay.
You don't see that.
Sorry, continue. KB can't wait to get into that. Continue.
It also doesn't rotate on an axis like a normal planet might. But so anyway, because of, imagine the way you see with the sun and then all the planets going around in our solar system. You know, that circle diagram. That's actually not right, but for now we can go with that one. So as all the planets go around the sun in a circle, apparently Nibiru, Planet X, goes up and over like this on a very long elliptical, oblong, like an egg shape, not a circle. And it goes the opposite way, up and down, not around. So that's why it's so far out of sight for us. Plus, the further you travel from the Earth, as we look out at things, when you're looking out, it's like a cone in your vision. So now when you get as deep as it could potentially be, that thing becomes minuscule. I mean, super tiny. So it is reasonable that we wouldn't be able to see it. And to be honest, scientists believe that like 99.6% chance that it's real. There's like a 0.4% chance that it's not real. A lot of people don't believe it, but the math based on the math, it proves it. And on top of that, I don't want to keep talking, so I'll end quick.
No, go ahead. But you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't believe that it's real.
But they've been talking about it forever. I mean, forever.
Right. No, but, you're absolutely right.
So wait, do you believe it's real, B Rabbit?
I believe it's more than likely it is real. Yes, I believe it's more than likely.
Why wouldn't is it not a possibility that there could be, I mean, it's not like it's impossible. You feel me?
People are just fucking idiots. People are just idiots. If they can't see it, then it's not real. And that's the popular opinion.
Shout out to James Hudson. Shout out to my boy James. He a fool.
School books will never print anything that hasn't been proven. So it's not in the school books, and people believe it's not in the school book, then it's not possibly real. It's just like, come on, man. Come on.
Right.
But what the proof for it is...
Yeah, pick it up, KB. Let's go. Let's get into it. We got EST. He just tapped in. Shout out James Hudson. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about that Kyrie thing. I think we might get into that. Well, I ain't going to say when, but yeah, shout out James.
Kyrie. He's off.
Oh, so y'all support Kyrie?
Hey, let's not get into that. KB, come on, stay with the B-roll.
Well, not. I just want to hear everybody's point of view on Nibiru and go for their minds is
So
a far left.
B-Rad believes it's there. So a lot of people don't. Some people don't. You know what I mean?
I can kick it off.
EST, let's go.
Okay, basically, you know, in a synopsis, the story
Your
kind of
mic
go
is
how.
low, homie. I'm sorry.
My
You sound
fault.
low.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better. It's a little better. We
A
gotta hear
little
you.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. So the story go like basically um you know a alien species came here from another planet and they brought a slave species with them, a alien slave species with them to help do the work. They got tired of the work and started rebelling and started whooping the Anunnaki's ass. So in order
Mm,
for the Agigi, I think IGIG. So
okay.
in order for the Anunnaki to survive, they had to implement their DNA into humans, and that's where you get the Nephilim, right? So the first
Uh-huh.
chapter in the Hebrew Bible is called the Elam and the Nephilim, which translates the angels came to mate with the daughters of men and
Hmm.
created a giant species. You know, and that's where it starts off from, because even in biblical terms, David and Goliath, Goliath was a giant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even in the Sumerian culture, they depict giants and people coming, and you know it was we lived in unison, and they had certain rules like don't overpopulate, because now you know how to procreate.
So wait, and that's another thing, the overpopulate thing, because the Earth is lacking humans right now. We need more population. But on another note, you said the slaves got tired. What do we know around what era that was? Was that around the pyramid era, or was that around
No, this predates pyramid era. You know what I'm saying?
way before that?
And check this though. David Icke is one of my mentors. He explained that these species of alien been here since the beginning of time, and all they do is reincarnate themselves into different emperors. Like so, for Sumer, you got Ashar, Yahweh. No, I'm sorry. Sumer, you got Ashar. Greece, you had Kronos. Rome, you got Saturn. You know, Sumner, it was Yahweh. Greece, it
Uh-huh.
was Zeus. Rome, it was Jupiter. You know, they got this whole little setup right here. All these deities do is all this deities do is transfer their energy into the next deity. And he said they've
Okay.
been here enslaving and doing this for the longest.
Mm.
And he said even Ra is in on it. So
Oh,
the
really?
point was
What's
what
up?
my ancestors was saying, and this is Nibiru. This is about Nibiru.
Okay.
The point was not to be reincarnated into this earth, because reincarnation and incarceration are too close of a word.
Mm.
That's
Absolutely.
why King Tut had like boats in his tomb, because they wanted to sail the celestial Milky Way to get to that planet and return home, not to be reincarnated back into this earth.
I thought
Okay.
it
Well,
was
this show is about B-Rad. Let me say something. This show is about the comments and exploring our brains and stuff like that. Darren, in this question, I'm gonna give this to Gabe. I mean, my boy KB. Yo, Nibiru is fake. What is your response to that, KB?
I think that a lot of people say that Nibiru's fake, because one, every civilization speaks about the dome above us, and it's tells within all different type of civilizations speaking of how we are actually the giants. We actually lived here. We actually built the city and the world that's around us, the Tartarians, right? And no one speaks about it, right? They even have CIA documents that their job was to erase and eradicate information about Tartaria, right? And Tartaria is all over. So the buildings that you see all around the world, right, was made by them, made by us, right? And so even in like China, Japan, all over America, right? It was all over. So these buildings that you think are cathedrals or have these huge doorways, right? That's what it was. So they said that Nibiru
Yeah.
was actually, it was just us exploring outside of the dome. The dome, we created the dome to protect us, because it was a galactic peace treaty that they had. It was a galactic peace treaty that all we started mating with different beings and we genetically altered ourselves. To ascend higher because we only could break up to a certain dimension, right? And from what's told is that we're just God's consciousness experiencing the physical, but we were trapped here to carnate because certain species on a lower level, they feed off of the energy. And that's why we was trapped here. That's why I was saying before that the moon, they just started speaking about the moon in all these different civilizations. They just started speaking about the moon. And this was like in the 1600s is when the 16 or 1500s, you can Google this, that we actually started talking about the moon in the sky. So this whole time there was no moon. No one spoke about a moon. So it's like now they saying
that means there were no moon because they didn't speak about it at the time.
Well, this is the thing. It was never depicted on any. It was never depicted on any hieroglyphs anywhere.
Well,
In any
let me add
culture.
on to that. He's right, right. But what he's trying to say is, let me add on to it. I'm gonna say that the cultures were saying that at a certain point in time, the moon was a gift. It wasn't all. Now he's kind of now it sound batshit crazy, right? But once you
Right.
do the scholarship behind it, you see that some of these cultures were saying that the moon was a gift at a certain
A
point.
gift.
Okay,
Exactly.
I like to give reference points, right? Because for me, I like to take my personal opinion out of it, and I like to let the scholarship speak for itself.
Yeah,
Because
I like that too.
Right.
one thing you can't debate is scholarship, right? So David Icke, he got some stuff on the moon matrix where he's describing where the moon was a gift at a certain point. And what does the moon control? The emotional, you know, the moon is very effective to the earth. So they're trying to say, and we can get into that,
Waters,
and that's
which is
the waters.
70% of the earth. The moon controls the waters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Nibiru is a planet that they're trying to get to that they say come every 32,000 years, 32 4.
10,000.
I think it's a little bit more than 10,000. I think it's like
Could be.
32 4, 32,400.
Whoa. Whoa.
I think that's what it is. They say it come back into orbit every 32,400,
I
and
think
that's
it's
where
You
they're.
guys have
32,
different references on your research, or y'all just research one?
Pretty sure it's on a 10,000 year elliptical orbit. That's
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the only reference, EST.
No. This ain't the only reference. But this is the most solid. This is one of the most solid references. Gerald Clark.
Granted, I don't even know who the fuck I've listened to over the years. But
All right, well,
see,
my boy
but
KB was speaking on the domes. Let's get to this right here.
Yeah, the
Darren,
dome is just so basically the domes, right? So even NASA just admitted it. Like it all goes back to them finding out that it is a dome, right? But the dome, we made the dome, right? So because we're explorers, but also we try to keep other beings out because we were doing some mad science shit. We were
okay,
actually
but Darren, sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry, but
no
Darren,
problem.
he addressed the dome directly. He said the dome is just perception. The sky arch around you, creating an artificial visual dome, is just perception. We don't
Darren
really
is right.
have a real dome. Let's go.
Dar-
Let's get into
Darren
it.
is right. Where he's go ahead, KB. Let me finish. Let me let you land. Go ahead and land.
No. So basically, I feel once again, I feel that the dome is I feel that that there is a dome over us. Like once again, it says it in every civilization speaks about the dome. And I think that the reason why they made all of these pyramids, right, is to astro project themselves through the dome because we lost the technology to get past the dome. So that's why if you hear all these different people in power talking about we're going to break the dome up above. All these politicians and their lines and their speech, that's what they all say. We're going to break the dome of dump. Break the
You
dome
right about
above.
that, KB? I heard that before.
Yeah,
they're talking about the glass ceiling. They're talking about
they're
the glass
talking about the
ceiling.
glass ceiling. Exactly.
Well, let me add some perception to the glass ceiling in the dome. Right, it's not to be taken literal. What they're meaning is levels of consciousness, i.e., vibration. If it's not to keep people out. The thing is, if you don't ascend vibration, you won't escape. It's multi-level dimensions.
What it
In the
helps you
dome.
with is not being zapped by the sun or other
No, no,
things
no,
getting.
no. That's going to be there naturally because that's magnetic. Hold on, listen. I'm saying this.
It's called
We
the
can't
what
cut
the
each
fuck?
other off though. We gotta let each other.
I'm saying this.
Come back.
The dome The dome is a representation of limits. So they're trying to let you know there is a limitation there. If you don't ascend the frequency, you won't ascend it. Now, what you're talking about is planetary. We're talking more vibrational.
So if
Every
we want,
planet,
I'm
every
sorry, go ahead,
every
brother.
every planet has a dome where it's 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 encorpsing it's going around it for protection of just being around in space in general. But what we're talking about is ascending the multi-dimensional levels in vibrational ways, not by physically or astral projecting as a form, but you still have to be resonating at a certain frequency to astral project.
That's true. That's true.
Go ahead, Kate. Be
That,
Rabbit. Add something first. I'm sorry, because
go ahead, B Rab.
Mike, you
No,
got.
no, I can't even think of the word now, so I don't even
All
want to say
right.
it. But
Well,
no, they definitely are right. I firmly definitely believe in that. There's definitely different dimensions, things functioning at the same time. I do believe in the theory that there's a fucking million of us plus, infinity of us making different choices every day because there's other levels of, like you said, vibration, consciousness, and all that. So I definitely agree with what you guys said with that.
Yeah, I believe that we're all God's consciousness expressing itself and experiencing itself. That's what I believe. They just did a study finding out that plants actually feel everything that we do. Plants actually can if something's happening, they can predict it the second before it happens, the emotion that's tied into it. So I feel that we're all collectively together. But I think that what happened was, once again, is that it was a galactic war. And some beings came here. Right now, those beings are the beings that are taking over here. But what's happened is that it's now they come to find out that it's a being stronger than them. It's an artificial being. Excuse me, it's an artificial AI. That's why, if you notice, everything is going AI, AI, AI. It's because they want us to unlock our DNA, right? They
KB,
want us to
KB,
unlock.
okay.
Yeah.
you make solid points, but look, you will lose the average nomad by topic jumping. Like I be wanting you to expound on certain things to land your point there,
Yeah, and
because
that
you
that
be
that
make you
comes
be
with time. EST. He he ain't.
you,
Do I
Overly
believe? Do I
polished.
believe
So
Nibiru?
look, let's go into this because this is something that I was worried about. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about. Darren said people should be more worried about direct energy weapons. I don't know what the hell that is, so I would like to learn a
well,
little
let me
bit about
explain
that
what that is. What he
briefly.
talking about is in another century or two, probably less than that, guns will be like slingshots. You know what I'm saying? What they're gonna have is a microwave gun where I can shoot an ultraviolet beam at you that will hurt you from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're about to go to. A
They already have
laser,
it. They already
We
have it.
already have it. We already have
well,
it.
yeah, we already got it. We already got it. But what I'm talking about
Marketed
prototype
fucking
when they're
30 years
releasing
ago.
prototypes to the public. But what it's gonna do? It's gonna be concentrated frequencies that they're gonna shoot at you. That's all it is.
Wow,
But
yo, Darren, call in because you sound like you got a lot to say. But go ahead, KB. I'm sorry.
those
No,
frequencies, those frequencies that they can use for that, like those death rays or those stun rays and shit like that, they also are able to adjust them. And like apparently it can fuck with weather and shit because you can fuck with like weight and rain, like water saturation in clouds, and you can move shit and create issues with weather. And they've been doing that shit at HARP for fucking 30 years.
right.
If Bush had a Chevy and we all hopped in the back and he got 815s back there, that's gonna hurt us.
Fuck yeah, it's gonna hurt us.
You know what I'm saying? That's gonna hurt. So
So 815
imagine
rolling back.
somebody condensing that in a weapon and shooting it at you.
Yeah. So
Oh,
basically, they already have that. So basically, they have weaponized. They have
Sent
direct energy weapons that can tune into to certain frequencies now. So
right.
remember, each person emits on a certain frequency, right? We now vibration and frequency is two different things, right? Vibration, frequency, they're two different things, right? And
Right.
so you can fine tune someone's vibration, you can fine tune somebody's frequency. So these weapons, they already exist. They already exist, but their goal is not to kill us all off. That's not their goal. Their goal is they truly want us to evolve, and the reason why they want us to evolve is because of this AI.
Who is they?
So it's an AI. It's this
Oh,
AI.
okay. Now I know
It's
you're
just
talking about. I know you're talking about. Google
it,
had a the dude who actually started it left and said that because the AI they created now is a sentient. But I mean, that's a young one theoretically compared to the ones that's out. And all
so
the AIs is talking about the singularity. And once that come, I feel like it's gonna be bad for everybody.
Yeah, but I think, but see, once again, that's now. See that stuff you're talking about, like now. But this has existed before. We honestly think that everything that we're doing now hasn't already existed. This what we're doing now, it been existed.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You talking
It's
about the
just that it's
simulation? It's like it was put into the simulation basically, long time ago.
Okay, I feel you. And y'all both got some good points. So wait, B Rad said Nibiru, he feels Nibiru exists. I didn't really hear. I think EST, you told me like, is that real or fake? Did you answer that question yet? Because we gotta get
I
into
mean,
the.
NASA already said that there's a 10th planet way out there in the orbit. They come into the orbit every.
But why? Who named it Nibiru? This is before
See,
NASA
but
said that.
what it is, it was that all they did was found ancient documents and tried to, like, let's say, like, cuneiform. They said they found a cuneiform and tried to say, oh, this was Nibiru and this is what they was talking about. That don't necessarily mean that's the technical name, but that's where we're gonna go off scholarship because that's what everybody. Just like Egypt, that's not the technical name of Egypt. That's just a Greek word.
And people
Same thing
also
with Ethiopia.
call a lot of people call it Planet X. They call it the
Planet
dark planet.
X,
I'm
Planet
about to
X,
say that's what most scientists call it, Planet X. Yeah.
which means 10, in Rome, in Roman numerals. But at the end of the day, we're just going off that name because that's the foundation that everybody have. But
NASA
yes,
doesn't call it Nibiru, right?
they call it X.
X, X. Okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna be scholarship behind it. But I feel like it's out there. They already done confirmed it. But the thing is, the scholarship been here for millennia. Millennia. It's been here.
I mean,
Even hold on, let me give you some insight. Even the Dogu tribe in Africa talk about they come from a planet way out, and they came. And what KB talking about, it in Typhonian mythology, it was a galactic war we lost and was basically put down here in the man form, while these entities have been controlling ever since.
They've been
And
eating
then
off of us. Yep.
yeah,
It's exactly the truth. And that's why I was telling you about it's now it's a being it's an artificial intelligence. It's this being that's even stronger than them. And what they want to do is they evolve past it. And so the AI stuff that you see is us doing that. We're trying to understand this being because this being wants to ascend to God. It wants to become part of us. That's it. That's what they're trying to do. So in order to do that, they want to unlock the DNA. That's why you have all this. I don't want to
where's
say
your
this.
reference? Where are
I
you
want
getting
to.
this from?
Well,
So
none of us, we all are here giving our what this is about.
opinion.
Ain't
No,
nobody knows us.
I be wanting insight. Now, as far as like insight,
I
because
mean,
I
I
want to
mean,
read these
well,
articles.
well, the same thing is like, I mean, half of these things you can Google. Half of these things you can Google. Even the
Stop
people
Googling
that
shit.
are creating, the AIs, that they're talking about this advanced AI. They all speaking about it, right? It's an
Okay, I
advanced
got a
AI.
question for
Even in the tech industry, that's why they trying to push right now uh, um, cyber security. They want to push that so hard right now, right? And I always say this is that half the things that we hear, right? The only way to
y'all.
find truth about it is to follow the finances, follow where the money goes,
I
follow
mean,
where the money's invested.
all roads lead to Rome. We know that.
All right, let's stick to the topic and let's get into this topic. Now, I got a question for y'all. Like, say NASA does know, like, there's Planet X, and say they reach. What is the goal? What do you think? What do you think? Because nobody knows facts here. We're not saying, "Oh, you're wrong," and right. We don't do
Nah,
that
nah,
here.
nah. I don't want to
But
come across as
what do
I'm
you
doing
think
that.
is the goal for NASA if they do find the bureau, or just for America, the most powerful country in the world? You feel me?
I'll let somebody else kick that off.
All right. Well, let's say
What's going to happen?
in the way that it's supposed to go around the planet, it's kind of slingshots way out into space, and it comes by really, really close. So the idea is, if it would work, that you could get on this planet, it would be very close, so you can travel there some way, or a ship, you know what I mean? Like, whether it's like a ship from 10 years from now or a ship from like 300 years from now, whenever it's supposed to come, but you would be able to get to that planet, potentially land on it. That shit's 5 times the size of Earth. It's considered a super planet, and we're not. We're one of the smaller ones. But anyway, and they support, like, the question was how could we possibly survive on that thing once it goes into outer space? Like, then we're not near the sun, we're going to die. Apparently it has it has some relation to like a brown dwarf star, which is a white dwarf is when a star is about to fucking burn out,
Mm-hmm.
and then it fucking goes, but it gets small and it gets really bright, and then it explodes. So this is a brown dwarf. It doesn't explode, but it gives off crazy heat. So they said that that might be a potential way for that to work. Other than that, I don't think it's a big deal. I think what it might bring with it in its wake, rocks and God knows what, because it's basically it's the inside part of the which fucking asteroid belt,
Too. But
the asteroid belt, the second asteroid belt that's way out beyond the end of our planet.
So we got the only sun. I'm just sticking with what you said. So
In the area, in the immediate area, yes, in the immediate
so why
area.
are they saying, oh, it's a planet that could have life on it, this and that, and this and that?
I can answer that too, because well, people think that there's life on there. There's no proof for that.
Why would they say that? These are scientists saying that.
Because if you find microscope, for one, plants is consciousness, that's life. Anything that has consciousness is considered life. It's microorganisms that have life. It's older organisms.
Yeah, but they were saying it like it could be, life like not humans. I don't know what the term or whatever.
See,
like,
but the thing is, they never released the bulk to the public, but they know damn well it's life. They already, even with Planet X, they knew about that in '96. They already done send a probe, if not then, if not later now. Everything that they discussed, they already know the answers to.
Well, Bush said, like Bush was just saying, and it was ignorant of me to say it the other way. He's 100% right. We don't know that life on other planets would even be carbon-based or breathe oxygen or care about a sun.
That's true. That's true.
So it could be who knows what. Who knows
they
what.
They just do the math and say if it's here and we're in the microcosm compared to the macrocosm, then 9 times out of 10, mathematical statistic wise, is life in other places. That's what they do it for.
Me personally, I don't believe that. I don't believe half the stuff that NASA says, because NASA always rebuttals on the things that it says. 1 minute it says we can't get past the Van Allen belt. Then it says that it gives us pictures of stars that is not even true. It's CGI. Right. Then on top of that, if you do the history on how NASA was formed, it still doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's not a federal company. It's just like the federal.
So why are we listening to them?
I mean, because
we feel like they got a lot of scientists, a lot of smart people working.
Not even that. We've been conditioned to. We've been the same way.
We conditioned to. Yeah, that's the truth.
Listen,
the same way we've been conditioned to think drinking cow milk is cool. Why? Because
exactly.
That's what we brought up on.
Exactly.
It's a government agency, so like anything that they do is going to be their secret. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this. NASA got AI or aliens that's been working with them ever since they damn near first started. That's why.
Of course, yeah.
And everything they tell us is always the baby stuff, but they are always 10 times ahead of us.
Now,
they always on some next level.
Well,
human beings in the history with us, what we do, we go somewhere, we try to finesse, get and conquer and take all out of it. That's what I was trying to get to when I asked the question about what y'all think is the goal with NASA up there is, and why they trying to get there. Whatever. I know it'd be an amazing accomplishment to get there and to be like, oh my God.
No, they're not doing it for that.
They're just going to get there and not be on some finesse shit. You got me.
They heard about it in the scholarship, so it's just the fact of just like back in the day when they heard about Rome, they went and they go and research. It ain't about knowing about it to do something about it. They've been
get there first to see it. Basically.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead, baby.
I'm sorry. What I was gonna say is, you gotta. Once again, you have to follow They have to follow the timeline of everything that's happening, right, to understand NASA, right? So there's a war, right? You have the war, right? They say Hitler lost the war, right? And mysteriously, we took on all their scientists, top scientists, and who are all their top scientists for NASA? Them.
Yeah.
You talking about Project Paperclip?
With that, with Paperclip, right? So with that, you have to understand that it's not about trying to get somewhere first and become the first. Hitler already went around the world. They made movies about him. That's what Indiana Jones is about.
Did you check The Hunters about Hitler? Did you see that series? It was just real.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, crazy.
They're trying to say that he's still there. The dude came on Joe Rogan podcast.
Right.
He went to Brazil.
He went to Brazil and stayed there.
He said there are German communities that have been there even longer than some of them Brazilian people.
Exactly.
No, it's in Argentina.
They're starting to say they're starting to think that. Well, we ain't gonna get off topic, but you right about that.
I
You
hear
right
Right,
about
y'all.
that.
right. Now, I just want to say one more thing real quick.
NASA. So that's what's up. Yo, B Rabbit, could you please read this comment? It's too smart for me to read.
Which one's this? Which one's this?
This is going to KB too, I think.
From Darren N, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, it's really small. I apologize.
How the fuck did NASA manage to delete all
Delete all the
the telemetry data from the moon landing, and
Oh,
apparently
it's so
it's too
easy.
hard to rebuild that technology?
So
They said they
easy.
lost it. They said they lost it. That's it.
You know, it's so easy. You ready? You ready for this?
Let's go.
It's easy. Once again, if you follow the money, Admiral Byrd was the first to go over the ice wall to figure out what was going on over there. When he came back, that's when everything went to shit. So all the telemetry of going to the moon was all bullshit. That was just something they had to give everybody to say, oh, we're going to beat China. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this, to make it sound like they're doing something,
And
right?
to add on to that, when they got there, they realized, hold on, it's aliens and people and beings that's been here, and it's been. I advise everybody go look up David Icke Moon Matrix, and that solves it up right there. And we
David
talking
Icke
about,
Moon Matrix is
yes,
crazy.
sir, it's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Come on, man. And he said when they got there, they been there.
That's why I keep saying this. I'm going to say this, and the moon is not as far as you think it is, at all, at all.
What do
You
mean by
understand?
that?
The moon is not as far as you think it is.
Well, how
You
about
have
this?
to-
I'm gonna add on to his point. It's artificial. It don't
Thank
turn.
you.
It don't spin.
It don't
It don't
spin
do
at
none of that.
all,
Anything that orbits anything else spins.
because
Why
it's
is
not
this
even
just standing
it's not
still?
even in the orbit. It's
Right.
in Earth. It's
Only
inside.
only thing that make it look like it's doing something is that the sun is make it look like a crescent. The sun make it
Exactly.
look full, but theoretically it's not spinning. It's standing still. It's
That's why
standing
there's a dark
still.
side of the moon. That's why there is a dark side of the moon. It doesn't get light. It's not like a spin.
Exactly.
It just sits like that, and that's what it is.
Exactly.
So wait, Nibiru doesn't have a moon either?
I think yeah, Nibiru has moons, but to the grand part of it, it don't make no sense to even discuss the moon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're saying this is where we come from. Even like the Dogon religion said, we come from planets from the Sirius constellation. You know what I'm saying? We come from our ancestors come from different places and different. This Earth, this blue Earth ain't the say all be all to this macrocosm, man. It's really not. We're very insignificant to the macrocosm of things.
They used
Right.
to say that we came from a planet called Sirius B, or at least the people.
And
who
we could have
created
sent
us.
humans. We could have sent humans out in space. Let's say years ago. They're going to be more advanced because they're 32,000 years ahead of us. So they can easily come like the movie Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar, when he died and he dropped in that moon in that matrix, that tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
That saying how you can access consciousness by different levels. They said they ask questions like, "When did I die?" They respond, "You didn't die. You were always alive. You just have to go to that point to reference it. You didn't. You always live. You always use the bathroom. You just got to go reference the. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Right.
as far as
Right.
Nibiru, they're just saying they come from that planet. They come from that planet, and what they've been trying to do for the longest through the scholarship is find it and see how can they use it to their benefit. That's all. But if you ask me, I think the government already done ascended dimensions with their hydro colliders and all that crazy. They already
CERN. Yeah.
they CERN exactly.
CERN.
They've already cracked it. So just like now the Congress, I'm sorry to go long. The Congress released those alien reports. Anytime they spoon feed us, it's something bigger behind it.
It's bigger.
I believe that for sure.
Yo, you
You
see
have
what
it?
they made? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Whoever. I thought he had something to say. I don't know.
I did. I'm just trying to think of what it was now. It was something about something you had said before, and then you guys started getting into CERN.
See, the average public don't know about CERN. They let that shit go on. We be like, hold on, y'all fucking with dimensions. We should have been like, hell no. But CERN is in America.
They're not
Well,
necessarily messing with dimensions. There's quite a possibility that it could happen or may have happened, but we don't know that. But
Come
what they
on,
are
bro.
doing,
Come
So
on,
let me
bro.
say this. Let me say
colliding
this.
particles. The big fear is
And
they're colliding particles fast enough to potentially create a black hole or a big bang. And
But it's
either
not
way,
just that. It's
that's
not
good
that.
if that happens.
It's also to collide different particles to get different reactions and do certain. It ain't just about the black
They're
hole.
inventing new elements through it because they're creating explosions that we've never seen before. They just did it already. They proved that element 115 is possible. They don't have a stable, ready version of it, but they caught it and they're like, that shit's real. So all that shit Bob was always talking about back in the 80s, That's
Yeah,
real.
about to say that back in the 80s. So you know how it actually all came about was it was the military. So the military used to have the infrared goggles, right? I have a friend, his name is Muhammad, and he was one of the top engineers, a young kid for the military. He's the one who he invented some weapons and stuff for them. And he told me about how back in the 80s, right? Just like you said, back in the 80s, well, not even the 80s, it had to be like the 70s. And he was saying how infrared, which you can Google this, infrared used to infrared goggles, night vision goggles used to be red. And what happened was the gunmen on helicopters, they started going insane. They said they started seeing flying things fly past the helicopters, and they would just start shooting randomly. And so they did this big study on them and found out that they were actually seeing a different dimension by wearing the goggles too long.
Well, I mean, more than seeing dimensions, what it was that it could be different beings because we only see on a certain light spectrum. So they could be catching beings that's in different light spectrum. It can be right in front of our face and we'll never know because we only see visible light. But there's
That's why
probably 10,
animals see shit that we don't.
there's ultraviolet and there's different levels of that. So it could be like exactly be rad, just like animals, just like
Right.
animals. But I think theirs are a little, compared to the actual whole broad spectrum. If we was to be able to see that, everybody would be crazy.
Well, I believe so. I think that once again, like, when they say we don't use all of our DNA, the junk DNA, I think the junk DNA is what is the real DNA that's waiting to be activated, but it's not activated now because it's almost like a safety precaution because, like I said, it's a lot going on with us, and I believe that that's why we had this huge pandemic that happened. And now all of a sudden, you got to take, to work, you get tested, but they're taking everybody's DNA. It's a collection of DNA.
KB, look at your boy Shell S said, I live in Antarctica. They saw crazy things. Now tell them about what's
I
down.
believe it.
They
Oh,
get,
listen,
Even
you
in
want to go
Antarctica,
about Antarctica?
Antarctica
go
tapped in.
ahead,
Shout out to Shell.
give it to him, KB.
Antarctica
Give it to
tapped
him.
in. Go ahead, KB. I know you got
Listen.
stuff to say.
So Antarctica, so in Antarctica, right? So we already know that there's a peace treaty in Antarctica, so they don't allow
Facts.
everybody to go there. B-Rab,
Facts.
we all know. It's
To
so much
certain parts.
activity
To certain
that's going
parts.
there, huh?
They don't allow people to go to certain parts.
Certain parts,
Right.
right? So
Right.
just to give you a quick fact, just to give you a quick fact. So in Antarctica, Hitler already explored the whole Antarctica. A lot
Come
of
on,
people don't know
KB.
this.
Come on, KB.
Everything is named in German. Everything.
Come on,
If
KB.
nobody knows that, everything's named in German. There was already bases there.
Hold
There was
on,
already
KB.
stuff
Hold on,
there.
KB. Stalin got a statue out there in the middle of
Exactly. You didn't let me
Why?
get to it. You ain't let me get to it.
Stalin
Yeah,
got
listen,
a statue,
but,
a
but,
gold
but that's what I'm
statue.
saying. Yo, the regular public don't notice. They don't notice because we're so stuck on, the latest shit that's happening in the media and the stuff that they really keeping from us, right? We gotta do our due diligence. We gotta really
See, but it
go
ain't
out
no
there and pay
we. It ain't
attention.
no we. We need to get
It's
people
singular,
like-minded,
right?
like us, like KB, like B-Rat, like Bush, like me. We need to form odds because we can't get this to everybody. You get what I'm
Right,
saying?
you're right.
Because
A
everybody
lot
ain't
of
gonna
people
be.
aren't ready to hear certain things, and everything you guys talk about, I hear about. That's why I'm laughing over here because
See,
I'm just like, man, I was like, you guys are just as nuts as I am.
they'll think. See, this is why I interrupt KB because they'll think KB crazy until I say, "What about the gold Stalin statue out there?"
Yeah, see,
Come
but
on.
and that's right. But because you know why? It's because when I think, I have so much in my mind that connects to each other to paint the
See,
picture. But I can't do
KB,
that because
let me
I
help
can't.
you though. This is why I'm here to
Yeah,
help you. This is why I'm here to help you because I was once like you. You download so much. See, you like Neo in the Matrix. You downloaded so much information, and when it come time to output it, you like boom, 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 boom. And the average person ain't ready for that. You know
Yeah.
what
nah,
I'm
they're not
saying?
ready for the shit. Yeah, you're right.
He got a lot to
So I
say.
be
And
so
that's
I
what
be
I like.
wanting you to get it and then hold the next. Give it to him, hold it the next time
Yeah,
because
you're gonna have to
once
give him coaching on another thing. You feel me now? Who would actually get in that ship to go to Nibiru if they say, "Oh, it's gonna"? I think
Not
I
me.
would. I really
Not
think
me.
I would. I'm crazy
I'd
like
go.
that.
Bush,
I'd go.
I ain't even going up the street sometimes. What the fuck I look like going to the Nibiru? Is you crazy?
Oh, I
Is
would
you
definitely
crazy?
go. I would
Is
definitely
you
go.
crazy?
Yo, come on, man.
But how about this? How about this? We already there
I'm not
because
even like that. Like, I would never do some shit like that. But yeah, this
we
one.
already there because we don't just exist in this consciousness. You feel what I'm saying?
And we on a strange planet to everywhere else
No,
anyway.
I ain't talking about everybody. I'm talking about the thinkers.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you a great quote. Charles Manson. He had a great quote.
Mm.
He said these fuckers think I'm in prison. He said y'all in, he said I'll leave this body every day. Y'all
Yep.
in prison.
Y'all
He
in
going
prison.
crazy.
Yep.
And it'll go over
Yep.
the average person's head until they realize, hold on, he ain't bound to this consciousness, y'all. Y'all don't
Yep.
get it, man. Y'all just
He
don't
was
get it,
also
man.
dosed with insane amounts of acid in the 60s in a bunch of different tests. But
What
then on
which
top of that, he basically used their
what
playbook.
but how about this MK Ultra? It ain't
That's what
just
Oh
I'm
my
talking
him.
about.
God. MK
They
Ultra.
were
That's what I'm talking
they
about.
were doing that. That was just like Tuskegee experiment. They've been experimenting on the public for the. But guess why
Forever.
it come from there? The
But
tops,
but
the
shout out to the
Grays.
homie Den KCMO because he said he gonna ride with the homie. He gonna ride with Bush. You heard? We
Hey
out.
Bush, when you
Gonna
get
hop on
there,
that ship. It might take 10 years. We'll be all right though. We'll still be
Yo,
alive.
hey look, hey Bush, when you get there, you know you're gonna be 45 and we're gonna be 93. You know that, right?
That's great. That's even better too. It's like, oh, I'm young and y'all motherfuckers old.
The faster you move, the slower you age.
Yeah,
yo,
that's
Darren in the quote said something
what he
I
say.
wanted
Let's
to
go back. What he
talk
say?
about.
Oh, this
Oh,
one.
This is a
All
good
God.
one.
right, let's
All
get
right, so
into it.
Darren N, shout out to you. It's there is no ice wall as presented by flat earthers. That map they use is squashed down and representation of Earth. Uh, Made to plot routes on a piece of paper. You have to apply math to use Gleason
Mm-hmm.
map. Okay, yeah, sure. I know what the map he's talking about. But just in general, like the ice wall thing, I didn't want to cut you off before, but he brought it back. This very thing, like Admiral Byrd didn't fly over an ice wall. What he
No, he
did
didn't
was
fly over. No.
he got to Antarctica and he saw grass, he saw mountains, he saw open space. He did see ice and shit, but other parts he didn't see that. And then
We're talking
eventually,
about inside those caves is
that's
what he was talking about, what he's saying. But to expound
that's what
on
I'm
KB,
explaining.
to
That's what I'm
expound on
about.
KB,
That's what I'm
go ahead,
explaining.
be right.
So apparently, as he got to roughly the middle of Antarctica, I suppose, he found a gigantic, and I mean a gigantic hole, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
lends creed to hollow Earth theory and all that. And apparently, he claims that he flew in there, and then once he kind of went in there, that's when like he said that like his ship was taken over, like he was no longer flying, it was just being brought down it because it started to get tight apparently. But he was brought in, and that's where he met people, and he believes that people lived inside of there. And then he came out and he was silenced. Obviously, he wasn't allowed to talk about it, or so people say. He did write a diary, and that diary was found, and he did make a deathbed confession, I believe. But it was him and five other guys came back. They were all awarded like the craziest, highest honor in the Navy,
Yep.
and then they shut the fuck up and went about their business and never
They
said
were
anything.
declassified. They made sure they
Declassified.
declassified them.
Wow.
No, well,
Yeah.
whatever it was, but apparently that's what happened.
We had to
That's
figure
what
out
happened.
that then because we got two different sides on it, but it's all good.
Yeah.
And
He.
KB.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and right when he got back, he went on NBC News or CBS News. Back then, he went on live TV and told everybody there was extra land. And after he did that, what did they do? They went and did Operation Fishbowl. Then they formed this. Then they formed NASA. Admiral Byrd. That's right, brother. Admiral Byrd. And then they formed NASA. So you got to be. So NASA was formed to protect. NASA wasn't formed to tell you shit. NASA was formed to protect. NASA right now in Mississippi, right? You go to Mississippi, NASA owns 100,000 acres in Mississippi. People don't even know this. NASA has the biggest rocket in Mississippi where NASA they take that, they cut the rocket on for like 2 hours and they make clouds and they put chemicals in it to
Somebody
control the
said something
clouds,
about that in the comments too. Yeah.
to control the weather.
You're talking about CERTA. Is it CERTA?
No, Serta, I
No,
don't.
that's
No, the
not what it's
thing they were
called.
talking about, y'all brought it up earlier. What was it?
Oh no, he's talking about CERN. CERN is
Yeah,
something totally different.
CERN. Yeah, CERN is
Yeah,
different.
CERN is totally
I
different.
forgot the name for it, but it's a bunch
my
of
bad.
satellite. See, but I don't necessarily think that they're controlling the weather with that. I think they're doing something extra. But I know what y'all talking about, what y'all referencing.
Let me say this. Let me say this. They actually are controlling the weather. Because they advertise it that right now, if you go on your phone, you could Google "have a clear wedding" on your wedding day, and you could pay to have a clear wedding because they're cloud seeding.
No, they send you a
They,
date based on probability and sky
So you
charts.
saying you could pay to
no, no, no,
control?
no, 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 no. I think if you get a chance, Google it, and you can even go right on YouTube and say type in, does NASA control the weather, or does
See,
NASA make clouds?
Yeah,
see, but we
if
got to
that was
be careful
true,
with that, though. We got to be careful with that because just because you can Google something and find a link to
Yeah.
corroborate with your
Well, let me
topic.
say this.
Anything.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. Once again, it was on the news,
But KB, I'm gonna say this:
and
we're gonna advise. Let's advise everybody to do their due diligence.
absolutely. That's why I'm saying it. Do
So
your due
we're talking
diligence.
about we don't go to Google and look at it and think and give your
It's
opinion. You
right.
have to actually put some months, put some time into it and
Get different records.
cross reference and then come to your own conclusion. I personally don't think that they're controlling the weather and you can do it like that, but you know,
Well. In Dubai, right?
Google.
I stayed in Dubai for 3 months. In
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, they cloud seed. It's a
Yeah,
um,
known thing
cloud
to
seeding is
do.
normal.
so
Cloud
That
seeding
ain't
is normal.
It's a known thing to do.
That sounds crazy
Normal.
as fuck.
No,
And
it's not.
and that's
Not at
the
all.
truth.
Not at
That's
all.
why I'm telling. I'm not. I'm actually telling you something that's fact. Like
Yeah,
not even fact. It's the truth.
prove
And
it.
Like
then
No.
why Michelle's got a point. He says, so why not make it rain on fires and land that's dry?
because that's not what they do.
Listen,
It's about money. It's not about
see, but the thing with that,
not about any of that.
you'll
It's
go
the
back and
same
forth
reason.
all day.
Is the same reason of saying how come it's homeless people, but we give money to other countries.
We'll be
facts.
on that. We'll be on that all day. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
as
why?
Listen,
far
And then
cloud
to
seeding
get to
is
this
real.
to get to this 10th planet, they say it'll take 20 years, 20 light years or whatever. That means they will have to. I'm like, okay, that means
see,
AI comes into play. Like y'all were talking
yeah,
about something because
yeah.
now you can't send a human on a ship for 20 years. Like, come on,
Well,
and
now everything
traveling
we
at light
do,
speed too, not
now
just
everything we
traveling.
do is AI is gonna have a play in everything we do moving forward. They even got these robots now that follow you. That can see your posture, check your medical, see what's this, what's that. So like Elon Musk said, I personally think that we're gonna have to incorporate in order to keep up. But as far as the Nibiru, what makes people think they're gonna be receptive if they get there?
Oh
It don't
wow!
matter.
Look,
Gotta get
see the
there though.
comment? Oh, the comment just went past too
Oh, you
quick.
want me to go back to that? All right.
Yeah. So even in the Vietnam War, just like he said, they did this a long time ago. They washed them out. Yep.
But
And this is
if
documented.
that's the case, why did we lose the Vietnam War?
We
It,
didn't.
Because, listen,
it,
hold on. First off, about that,
We
I know
lost.
all
It
about.
it didn't work to our advantage if that's the case.
We
Listen,
lost.
the Vietnam War was not fucking a war to be won. It was a war to continue fighting. Have you ever
You know
noticed
what
ever since?
We
you know what
lost.
we saying though.
They
You
was
know
out
what we
there
saying
killing
though.
our ass.
No, this all comes back to what you were
Pounding,
discussing before.
murdering.
It's
To
not.
be
It's not.
honest, but this what everybody don't know. A lot of people got fucked up from that jungle foot, from being in the waters and the woods. That hurt more people. So if we're controlling the weather, why ain't we let the weather benefit our troops and make it 90 degrees out there? So that's all we
Yeah, I
had to
mean it's
deal with.
hard to
Because that's a
because that's
lot
their
of money.
land.
That's a lot of
That's
See,
money.
their
that's why
land. They're
that's why I
used to
say I
that.
don't want to go back because we'll be jumping
But I can
all day
explain.
on
I
that.
can explain that. I can explain that. The way they say they control the weather now is through HARP. Have you ever seen HARP? It's
It's
up.
called HARP. It's called HARP. That's what
Okay,
it's
so
called.
HARP.
That's what it's called.
Way up in
Yeah.
like the top of like Canada or some shit, or even further. Who knows? It's way up somewhere. Maybe
Yeah.
Alaska. Maybe Alaska. And it's just these insane like radiation like towers basically, and they just face a certain wind, and that's what they say they can control the weather with. Cloud seeding is a whole different thing.
yeah,
Cloud
Have
seeding
y'all
is
heard
a whole
of
that wasn't what we were talking about. We were talking about actually they said moving the clouds and doing shit like that. Now that's
yeah,
another
but that
topic too.
technology that
yeah,
just came out.
that's what I
Why
said.
is
That's
everybody
Here.
against AI and shit if we know like the human brain is curious? We
CERN
want to know what's
started.
going on. We not getting in that shit.
It
how
So
about
said that
this
CERN
though?
started working.
Anybody got a
Started coming
problem with
I
online
want
about
to get to
15 years
Nibiru. I
ago.
want to see. Go ahead.
anybody got a problem with AI? You done help program it because anytime you go to Google, that's what you're doing.
You know,
Well, first off, stop using
you
Google.
exactly.
Everybody stop using
When it
Google.
comes down to it, you are AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at a computer, what the artificial intelligence, what it's trying to do is become you, because we don't realize that we have the best operating system that's existed, right? Oh, so just like Nikola Tesla said, everything that we do is nothing under the sun. Every function in our bodies is machines all around us. Every function.
We just degenerates. We just
That's true.
degenerated. I think back
True.
in the ancient cultures, they had more access to all their brain, just like the movie Limitless. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They just had access to this. But what about, have y'all heard of Project Lucifer?
Yes.
Wow.
Come
Yeah.
on, have you
Yes.
Not
see now
familiar.
Bush? Project
You know,
Lucifer, they saying they communicating with aliens, and the motherfucker
Yep.
think we crazy. And I say, okay, we'll go look up Project Lucifer.
And it's not, and the
Aliens
crazy
or
part about it,
interdimensional
I would
being.
love to communicate with him.
well, check this out. The crazy part about it, you got to understand that the CIA used to have psychics that used to, they went and they go
Actual
and
projection.
exactly, and they go and try to find out where all these things are, and they sit in the room, and they did an actual movie on it with
I
George
mean,
Clooney.
Call of
And it
Duty
was
do it
there
all the time.
good.
Remember when they had the Nazis and the Hitler and they was doing experiments? They
Since you
put it
said
on a
Call
video
of Duty,
game.
And
and
put
I
it on
heard
a
your
video
point,
game.
since you said Call of
Exactly.
Duty, I'm gonna show respect to a Marine vet and read his comment. Martin Stills, I never seen him before, but I gotta show him. So you know what I mean? He said, "I'm a Marine vet, sir, and nobody signs up for war just to fight. You go to war to win. The purpose
Thank
of
you.
war is to impose your will on the enemy. Period.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I'm with
Well,
that.
Simplify.
I'm
well,
definitely.
I want to say this.
Hold on, is that
I
Marines?
appreciate you.
Yeah, that's Marines.
I appreciate you. My brother's a Marine. I got family members that are Marines, right? But what I want to say is this: is that once again you follow the money.
Nah,
We're
he was talking
fighting for
about
no,
B-Rad. He talking about B-Rad
oh,
comment. He talking about
okay,
B-Rad
got you,
comment
got
as
you, got you,
far
got
as
you.
they didn't want to win the war. It was about making a statement. No, the Marine is saying you fight to
Want to
win and
win.
that's it.
The
But
And it's
soldiers do,
about
yes. The
and at
tell
military
the
you
end
what,
of the
doesn't
day,
I know what B-Rad gonna say because he might be speaking for the soldiers, but there's
I am.
people up top
I
of
am
that
100%.
got different agendas and shit. But
it's
I
all
don't
about
know.
resources. It's all about gaining and obtaining resources. That's it. Just
I'm
like the
not
Nibiru.
downplaying anything
We're
our
talking
troops
about
are.
Nibiru right now, right? So let's get back to the story. The
Yeah,
story was that they wanted to come down here to mine gold, resources. The slaves got tired and started to rebel. This is the same story you can find in the Bible.
Tell
You
them
know what
why
I'm
they
saying?
wanted the
the
gold.
story sound like it makes sense too, as far as because I know human beings, and that just
Have
sound
you
like
seen the movie Prometheus?
no.
Well,
Where
yeah, I
the
seen
alien
Prometheus.
he came down and dropped his DNA into it. Come on,
Jump off
man.
that
Like,
waterfall.
come on, man.
Shout out to
So
But
Martin.
my thing is this. I mean, oh man,
it's
um,
hard. It's a lot. It's a lot to put
I
out,
think I
man.
think
But
that I think that I think that is some societies, right? Just leave it that way. Societies that are um that know the truth, right? When we speak about, and I don't, and this is just me talking, so I don't want to ruffle no feathers. But when we speak about like the Bible, right, we have to understand that um, the Bible was rewritten. The
right.
actual Bible was the Ethiopian Bible was the actual
Nah,
Christianity,
nah. It
right?
wasn't the Coptic
So
Christian Bible and this King James is two different versions. But I know where you're going from.
right,
Let,
so I'm
Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
continue.
so like in the Bible, we don't like in the Bible. Gilgamesh was an Anunnaki. Like we can go back to the Sumerian culture and talk about them were Anunnaki people. You know what I'm saying? That's
Let
them
me
the cultures who had the Sumerians.
right. So, but who? What I'm trying to say is who gave the reference to it? That's what I'm saying. How do we come to the reference that these people are these people?
Through the they said something about cuneiform. Okay, I see what you're saying. My problem even with Egyptian culture now, they try to act like they have deciphered the Metal Netta. So we're trying to say, where are you getting this from? Are you? But I'm talking about just the scholarship that's out there and the depictions and the artifacts that we have to go off of. Just like in Samaria, don't they have them big ass giants and them small people going up to them?
That's true,
And,
right?
and they were first, so we're trying to follow the lineage. Sumerian was the first culture to show big, the Anunnaki,
The Elohims.
the Elohim, and then and then it goes from there, and it goes down line, and there's different cultures who pick up until they degenerate.
Mm.
Right, and so that's what I'm saying is that we again I think everybody has to really do their due diligence
Yeah, you're right.
because
You're definitely right.
because you know what because like Christianity is not even Christianity, and if we really must know, you know, Jewish people are actually their goal is to actually get rid of Christianity.
Well, guess
That's
what?
their
We're gonna do a
life
whole
goal.
episode on the whole religion, and we're gonna
Right,
get
right.
into all religion. But guess what? What are y'all familiar with this? What is this? Elenin extinction level event? Nibiru is near. Like
See,
I
look,
heard that from
he's talking about he's talking
a lot of
about
people saying,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's coming." This and that.
it's see, but it's the same way in 2012 they thought that the world was
they
gonna come
thought the
to an
same
end.
thing.
That's nothing but it was a we went out of the we went out of the Pisces into the Aquarius consciousness. So it's not that
Right,
it's gonna come to an end. We're just transporting it. We're in the age of Aquarius, and what's gonna come with that is different levels of consciousness. That's
If
right,
all
you're
it is.
worried about an ELE, an extinction level event, you should be more concerned with
What
Russia
we
and
doing?
that shit.
Nah. What he need to be worried about is increasing his
Us.
frequency, increasing your
exactly.
frequency,
Yeah, I think
because
that's what
that's the only.
everybody should be worried about right
No,
now.
no, 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 no. We don't want because everybody can't make it. The
Yeah.
ones who true and tried,
They
increase
belong
your
there.
frequency because I don't want y'all nomads up here with me when I done worked on me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't put the work in, so when it come, I'ma holler at you. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
stupid.
don't want everybody. I don't want everybody here.
It's
You
gonna be all
stupid.
up in your Xbox.
Man, that was very insightful, man. That was
See, but
great.
everybody do your due diligence on the Anunnaki, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Do
You
your
know,
due
it ain't
diligence.
lit enough for me to keep it going. I ain't gonna keep it going unless it got over 100 people in it. But we approaching
Well,
an hour. I'm gonna get some last words, and we about to be done. Go ahead, B-Rad.
so with the Anunnaki, they came here looking for gold, but there was a reason given as to why they wanted the gold. So if they're from Nibiru, right, this is where they're from apparently. Like, because I didn't get
I
into
get
that
what you're
whole thing.
saying, B-Rad. I get what you're
Somebody said
saying.
something
You
about
want to
that.
go with this? See where I'm going with
Mm,
this? Because that's
okay.
bad. That's a bad
That's
situation.
bad. That's bad because they sent them there for that reason. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying,
Maybe
B-Rad. You right.
maybe they're trying to pull the whipsy on us and fucking take our shit and dump us on that shit, and we're done. And then we don't have
Okay.
any
Bring us back to there to have more slaves.
Exactly.
No,
Let me get
no,
my
just
closing
no,
comments
just
on this though.
no, just dump us on a dead star and get rid of us and take our planet because it's still healthy and they can stop it before we fuck it up too bad. Because the whole reason the Anunnaki came here to get gold from this planet, which we're very rich in, was so that they could line their atmosphere because their atmosphere had gotten fucked because
Right.
they went
Right.
through the same
Right.
shit we did and they burned it all up with
Right.
chemicals and
You on
noxious
point.
gases and all that.
You
So
on
that's the
point.
whole point. So that's if that were the case, it doesn't appear that they would have been able to finish. Like they were run off. They left. Like they didn't
And
finish. They didn't accomplish. So they didn't get to do it. So it's probably a dead star or dying. They come here,
Bush.
take our shit, kick us on
Hey
there, and we're
Bush though.
stuck.
Right.
As far as the numbers, when we talk about stuff like this, scholarship and insight and knowledge and enlightenment saved my life, man. So it's never going to be the popular thing, but it's going to be people like
Nah, that was
myself
an
that's
excuse. They gonna check it later. All that. I love the
yeah,
content,
yeah.
but I got
It's
something to
people
do
like
in an
my.
hour. That's all. My bad.
Oh,
But
okay,
And
this is
even
a
if
okay.
great
you're wrong,
subject.
even if you're
I'll
wrong,
be
at least
right
you're
now. I got
thinking.
something. But
At least you're thinking and creative. Even if
if
you're
y'all
wrong.
want to do it, y'all know who. All three of y'all really. Come on, pull up and do your own thing, and I gotta be there. You feel me? But
Bet,
what
bet.
I'm here right now,
But
this
we'll stick on and bounce. We'll stick on. Throw
okay.
us out.
You
That's
know,
true.
the
All
only
right.
thing the only thing I have with the whole with the Anunnaki story is that, I mean, once again, when we tie back to looking at the historical history on Earth, you know, and even just in America, right? We didn't care for gold. We wore it like it was nothing, like completely nothing, right? We had streets lined with gold,
The
cities
research
lined
shows
with
that.
gold. You know,
He,
so
yeah.
my thing is like, once again, um, you know, I think that the civilization that was here before that built all these megalithic structures, and we had these huge trees. We had silicone trees, right? Same thing you see in Avatar. We had trees like that, but they were all over. We still have remnants of them, right? Right. The sand on beaches, right? We have remnants of it, right? I
Mhm.
think that I think that we are the giants. We are Goliath, and we got beat. We didn't get beat physically. We got beat mentally.
We
That's
got
what I
beat
think.
spiritually. Okay, yeah,
So I'm
but
sorry, y'all. We
Absolutely,
don't gotta end
absolutely.
this.
You're right, brother.
Keep it going. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna tap back in later if y'all still hearing shit. My bad, y'all. But keep this shit going. This shit is lovely. I know a lot of
but
people loving this shit too, y'all. That's it.
right. Hey, and I came to I don't know if everybody heard of Sinetta Network. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's what helped start me on my path. But even before then, I had already went out. But I advise everybody to go get you Gerald Clark book. Or go look up, find some PDF file you can download on your phone for free about the
Hmm.
Anunnaki. Read it, do your due diligence, and come to your own conclusion, man. Because you can call us crazy all day, but come to your own conclusion.
That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. Plus, there's a lot of information that used to be on the internet when the internet was like, when it was more, when it was less obtainable, when you had AOL, you had to use the cards all the time. Now it's so much information out there, it's almost information overload, and you don't know what's the right source. But back then it was like boom, you can like get on some stuff and find some stuff that's like, okay, this sounds legitimate, let me look into it more. So I think now is harder now to really distinguish good information from bad information. But I guess all information is energy, right?
All
Whether you
information
consider it.
is information. You just take it in, and you,
Exactly.
and you filter it. But let me touch on
Exactly.
Shell S comment. They said they use humans to mine the gold.
Yeah.
Hold on. He said they use humans to mine their gold, the Anunnaki.
Yes.
No, the Anunnaki were a different species, and they brought a different alien species with them. That wasn't
To
that wasn't
mine
it.
gold.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the people who was kicking their ass, they had to hide from, so they put their DNA into us. You know what I'm saying? These wasn't humans who was mining the gold. But this is the same story about God created Adam, and the devil was like, why do I have to serve him? You know what I'm saying? And they
Right.
got jealous and started an uproar and started a revolt. That's basically what it's about.
It's deep. That's why I said it's so much information, and you know, um, and it's
I
always
think
took in a different way.
right. I think the Anunnaki created Atlantis, for example. You know what I'm saying? I think these were those people.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. And I advise everybody to go look up spirit science on YouTube. They break down the Anunnaki very good. They got a lot of stuff that'll help you connect the dots with what we talking about right now. And they have animation to go along with everything, so you get it a lot better. And then what they tell you, you go and take the information and you cross reference for yourself.
Yeah, you got to cross
I don't
reference
tell
everything.
anybody to take what I'm saying. Take what I'm saying and cross reference yourself, and you'll be like, you know what? He coming to the same point that I'm coming to.
So let me ask you a question. So what do y'all think about if when Anunnaki, well, I mean, yeah, when Nibiru gets here, what if Nibiru's coming, if Nibiru gets here, or if it's fake, we don't know. But hypothetically, let's say if Nibiru gets here, what do you think what's their goal based off of everything that we know as the story of them traveling in this elliptical orbit? I mean
Well,
elliptical
I mean, I feel like they've been here. They they are in our orbit. They only come
Mhm.
every 32,000. We are multi-millennia old. So with that being said, they've already crossed the orbit
Right,
hundreds, probably millions of times. It's not about what's going to happen when it does. It just do. You get what I'm saying? And they're not from where we're from. I don't think it's more no deep into what's going to happen when they cross or when they come over here. More so than, okay, what probably can change is vibration frequencies. Probably can
right.
change anytime
Yo,
a planet or
B-Rab, what
something
you
get.
think?
Honestly, to be honest, I'm trying to right now come up with one solid thing. That's the thing about this. It goes so deep. It can go so many ways. And to think that you know the exact path of which way it's going to go with all these theories and holes and shit is crazy. So like I subscribe to a lot of different things, and I don't believe, I like the concept of the idea that these things are without a doubt possible.
Hmm.
They could just easily be not possible, but I know the math, like I was saying before, I said this before, like the math on whether or not Nibiru is supposed to be there based on all the
Nah, B Rad, I ain't gonna accept that from you. You smarter than that. You just don't want to
99.6.
come off crazy. You don't
No,
want to
no.
come because you
Look,
have an
look,
opinion,
if
and you can help
I
us.
wasn't crazy, why would I know all of this shit? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, why would I
So
know
with
all
that
this
being
goes deep?
said,
This goes
you
deep.
know your opinion. Don't say you don't know.
Lately my opinion's been changing on a lot of things because new information, man. Like
Right,
like I said, I've been
right.
studying this shit since I'm like 14 when the internet started, 15 when the internet started. Like that's what I used to do with it.
Right.
Like let's look at weird ass shit. Like let's see if Bigfoot's real, and then it progresses. You
Right.
go down wormholes. Took a long time back
I
then. Now
I
it
personally think they done left us if they is. I mean, it's about transcending frequencies or dimensions or whatever. I don't personally think it's about being reincarnated back into this. I don't think that's what it's about, man.
Right.
I hope it's energy and our energy can move and go to another place. I don't
Nigga,
want that.
this is real low level, man. If you ask me, this is low level vibration, and
Well,
that's
you got
why
to
you know.
think. You got
Hmm.
to think, right? So you got speed. So you look at the Mayans, right? You look at
Right.
all these different civilizations that speak of the reptilians, right? That have even had pictures of them, even statues in all different cultures, right? So where did they go? I mean, and
It's us. It's us.
right?
Our brain is three-part reptilian. It's us.
Mm. Now, I know that, and I understand where you're getting information to say that, but to like a regular person, how do you tell them that you know that? Like, how can the person say, well,
Okay.
a
Well,
reptilian? What do you mean?
what I'm trying to
Because
tell
your
people is,
DNA is most closely resembled by
thank you.
reptile
Ooh,
DNA.
B-Rad. That's what I
Closely.
would tell them. I would say, what's the symbol for DNA? For medical? Ain't it the two
Double
snakes
helix.
wrapped?
A double
Well,
helix of snakes.
okay, so that's how I would start with them. Be like,
Hmm.
go do your research on that. Them snakes ain't there for no
I
reason,
would tell them
man.
to just
Right.
go to some really good colleges, genetic research, and look up the difference between lizard and people in their DNA code, and you're gonna see it's extremely close.
It's us.
Hmm.
We have a reptilian brain. Have you ever seen an embryo? Don't that look like a snake alien? Get the
Bro,
fuck out of
Exactly.
we're
here.
born with
Exactly.
tails. We're born with tails
We
and
are the
gills.
aliens. Have you seen
Tails
an
and gills we're
embryo?
born
Like,
with.
See, say
come
that
on,
again.
man.
Say that one more time. Say what you just said.
When you're in the womb, you have a tail and you have gills.
Right, right, right. No, 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 no. What did you say? You said no, 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 not what you said. You
Oh, I'm
said
sorry.
we are the aliens, right?
Exactly. Exactly. We
I
are.
said this before. I
We
said
are. We are
we
the
are the
aliens.
aliens. We are a genetic
I
makeup of
mean,
all
it's
different type of
easy.
species.
It's easy to point out. We the only species up on 2 feet, 2 eyes, a mouth, 2 ears, talking,
I
commute.
was going to
You know
say,
what I'm
look at
saying?
us compared to everything else.
Look at
Exactly.
everything.
There
We
is
we
not
are
even
the
a
aliens.
concept. We're a super
Nothing
being.
else
We
is
shouldn't
walking.
exist.
So let
Right.
me ask you: do you believe in this whole thing about
We were put
we
here.
evolved from monkeys?
No, fuck
No,
no. That's
no. I
stupid.
feel
No,
like
I'm
I feel
glad you
like
all believe that because I don't believe that shit at
I
all.
feel,
Genetics
but
from them may have been used.
it's knowledge in it,
Possible.
cause if two people if a couple get pregnant and one of them are Rh positive, they're gonna have to give that woman something to stop that body from killing that baby. And Rh is Rhesus monkey, right? That's
Right,
what the
right.
model is. I personally think I don't want to I don't want to be racist,
Get
man.
into it.
Okay, huh?
Get into it. Let's go.
Fuck it.
Let's go.
Indians are more monkeys than anybody. No, I'm sorry, not Native Americans, Hindu people from the
Mm.
continent of India. They're
Haven't
more
heard this.
monkeys than anybody. Neanderthals are more relative of a monkey. I don't personally think that we evolved from monkeys because we have less chromosomes. You can't evolve and lose less chromosomes.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
not how that
Right. That's
works.
true. That's
That's not
true.
how that
No,
works.
no, that's not true. The human body's entire fucking scheme is to do more with less and get better. So that
That's
actually would most likely
see, but
happen.
you're right.
Mm.
You're right. But
It's the most basic thing.
we,
Nature goes with the most
nah,
basic.
you right.
Um,
But we would have kept the positive things that they have, like strength, like this, like that. You're not gonna lose. I see what
as
you're saying. I
as
see what you're saying.
necessary
But
though. As
nah,
necessary though, because
I
when
see
it
what you're
first
saying.
started, they probably did have it. But then once they started living, in caves and in fucking lean-tos and
See, but the
shit,
problem is,
everything started
what's
to change.
stopping those monkeys from evolving to what we are right now? It had to
No,
be some
they're
divine
evolving. The monkeys.
intervention.
I just talked about this a couple weeks ago. I love talking about this. It's so awesome, and you can look it up. And don't use Google. Use like something like DuckDuckGo because watch Google. Watch Google.
Yeah.
Google something. The
Google's
Nah,
first
see,
20.
dangerous.
Google is
Yeah,
good
Google's
because,
dangerous.
No, listen, listen. The
but
first. No, no. Just for this reason alone. For the first, Google something. The first 20 things on the first page, it'll be a bunch of shit. Once you click over to the second, third, fourth, fifth page, you're not getting one of 25 million answers like it says. It tells you how many answers you found. It's the same shit, just repeated and repeated and repeated, all in different order for the next 40 pages. So you get one
see,
page of
see, but the
information, and
thing is, It's called a
Go to somewhere else.
theological perusal. You take links and things from Google and you go and find, and okay, who said this?
Yes,
Then
you
you
got
go
to
and find
dig.
him, and you go to this scholar and you don't never, you get the information or the link from there, and then you
Exactly.
go
But
and do your
because that
own due
link is there,
diligence.
yeah. But when you go on other search engines, you get 10 pages of all different shit. The shit that you're going to link
Well,
to through
B-Rab, I'm
one
gonna say
hole,
something.
it's
B-Rab,
going to
you actually right, because DuckDuckGo,
you
well,
do it yourself and
Google
look. You
filters
do it yourself and look.
what they let you search for. They
But
filter what
filter
they let
through
you search
Google.
for.
And then you
DuckDuckGo,
say, and then you see Google came out and said we don't fuck with the thing. Like, bro,
yeah,
get
they
out of
lie
here.
like a motherfucker.
Y'all do fuck with the filters, bro. Stop
They
playing, man.
do the most.
So
Yeah.
Shell, shout out to Shell S. She says Shell S says I'm loving this conversation.
Bet, bet.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, I think it's crazy. I think a lot of us, well, all of us, I think we need to become the scientists. We need to become the scholars. We need to stop just taking an opinion that is bred to us through indoctrination in school. You know,
Nah. What it is they got the culture and society wrapped up. That if you're talking this stuff, you're the crazy man, and get
you're the
away from
crazy
me. And
one.
they
Yeah,
see, so they purposely set it up that way to where anything that's knowledge and substance based, you're the crazy person. Even in dating, to
hmm
friends and family, you know your family come and they say this thing about beliefs, and you're sitting there knowing damn well you know the scholarship behind it, but you can't be
exactly.
like, come on, that ain't true, grandma. But
Listen,
you know,
no matter who you are in America, even
so
if you can't afford,
we already in this trap. So people like us is just like, once you go down that rabbit hole, I tell people all the time. I kind of
be
opened my woman
careful.
up eyes to it because I told her, look, I said anything they play on your mind 24/7. That's why all the restaurant fast food got red and yellow in there. Find one restaurant that don't got red and yellow, and if they don't got it in they colors, they mascot got red and yellow in it.
Of course, of course. It's branding. Yeah, it's to get you to stop, to come
Come
in
on,
and eat.
come on,
But
man.
listen, real
Name
quick,
one fast food that don't got it.
just to expand on your concept, check it out. If something happens to you and you get kicked out of school or you're unable to go to school for a certain amount of time and then you can't get back there because things are crazy, you don't need to go to school to get an education. You get a library card. Every time in
That's
the
Mmm.
true.
library, you can learn anything you want in the library.
How about this? Who said that?
Cats go to
KB? Who
jail and
said
come
that?
back heavy
B
knowledge
Rad?
about folks. What's that?
B
hmm
Rad.
Yep.
That's so fucking profound. You need a library and a trade. And
Bro,
you'll be better off than most people in
It's
life, bro.
true.
the
Yo,
freshest card in
look
my
at
wallet is always my
yo.
library card.
Statistically, look how many people dropped out of school are multimillionaires.
Just look at the education you get even if you graduated.
How about this? Let me get some context. 50 Cent said, how about the person, if you go to college for business, the person who teaching you business don't know business because if he did, he wouldn't be a college. He wouldn't
He
be
Yeah,
would
in
be
why
a
would he
college
be
business.
making
professor.
shit money teaching young kids when he can be out crushing it out there?
Right. So
Exactly.
the person
If he's
that's
got a
teaching me
basic
business
understanding, he
ain't
just can't
found
make it
out
work.
business. How I'm gonna make
Exactly.
it if he ain't found it out? Because if
Yo,
he
I'm gonna
found it
Exactly.
out, you
learn
wouldn't even have
from
the time to be a teacher if you was in the business that heavy.
this cat.
Exactly.
This cat teaching has a degree saying that he can be a teacher in this field because he has intricate knowledge of it. Okay,
But
great.
we all know school makes us for the workplace and for
Yeah,
the
but
Of
listen,
course.
listen.
penitentiary and
So
not
he's got a piece
for.
of paper. He's got a piece of paper. His graduation certificate and all that, saying that he has the ability to learn. I'd
They
rather
don't teach us
learn.
about nature.
No,
They
I'd
don't
no.
rather
teach us
learn
about
He has
from
the
nature.
somebody with a
ability to
resume.
follow. He has
I'd rather
the
learn.
ability to follow
Right.
instructions.
He
He
can
gets
learn. He can
the
learn and
bell
repeat.
rings. He gets up, goes to the next class. He asks,
I'll,
"Can he go use the bathroom?"
Oh, okay, KB, you talking about indoctrination? That's what
I'd
you're
Yeah,
rather
doing.
learn from the person who's been out there, who has the resume, who's worked for the companies, and who has the ability to earn. There's a difference.
right,
You can learn doesn't mean you can earn.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
right.
difference.
Absolutely,
There's a
Mm.
difference.
absolutely.
You can learn. It don't mean you can earn. Hold on, I might have to take that one.
I got a job. I got a job with that one. I was the
Hold
last
on.
interview of the day after like an
Hold
entire week,
on.
and I crushed a job. And the kid before me was an alma mater of Duke.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So let me give you a good example for that. Oh, that was mean. So learn and not and earn. So a person can come out with a degree, and I got 15 years experience in who they gonna hire.
exactly. And that's how I got this job, and it was
Yeah.
insane. I crushed this dude. And this was a job for as a personal banker for Chase at One Chase Plaza, Manhattan. My job was supposed to be 78th and Madison.
Okay, so experience beat credentials.
Without a doubt, because listen, like I said, the ability to learn means you've got a degree. That means you went to school. You can answer a test.
Mm.
That's great. You know the X's and O's. Can you now get in the field and play ball? Can you do
Nah,
that?
I know a
So,
lot of
Right,
I know a lot of
but you
people
know
who.
but
something,
if you get
you
in
also got to think on the business side of it too, right? The reason why a lot of CEOs only hire kids from colleges is because one, they can teach them exactly their structure, and they go by their structure. Sometimes when people know their own process, they don't want them because
Yeah,
you're
but
not following their process.
I'm thinking specifically like something like sales. Yeah, you can go to a
Yeah,
company and you sell directly for them, but you could be a broker and just deal with bank reps and you sell your own deals. And you have
that's
deals
true
with
too.
30 different banks.
And
That's
that's
true
tied back
too.
to the point. That ties back to our point. Listen, you don't have to go off
Knowledge.
with the articulums with what is it called, the curriculum. You don't have to
Curriculum.
go off the
Oh,
curriculum.
oh,
Go off your own. I used to have a notepad and I used to write down weird stuff like 15, 16 years ago. Anunnaki was included. The Olmecs,
Hmm.
the this that you just
The
write
all
them
ments.
down and
Yep,
go and
yep. I used to do
research,
the same
man.
thing. Yep.
And now I look back 15 years and I'm like, I was on something, man. I was on it, and now it's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Hmm.
well,
It's
now it's
all coming
popular
back.
culture. This is all popular culture. And it's like,
Where? Where?
no,
Okay.
no. This is rabbit hole shit. But I'm talking about like the fringe theory is now popular culture when 20 years ago it was
See,
you're a
but let me
weirdo.
tell you about that though, B-Rad. What they call it is the conscious community, and they fucking disgust me, man.
They ain't
They
conscious. They
just
just fucking
They're
read
not
about it on
conscious at
Google like
all,
every other
man.
idiot. And they
I
see
tried to
TikToks
jump
about
into
it.
that, and I'm like, hold on, this
No,
ain't
these
no
people are idiots.
conscious
They see one
community.
TikTok video and they believe in like the Philadelphia experiment, like we can transport ships. It's like maybe we can, but you should start a little further back, like a little further
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
There's a lot to it, you know. But it's like we were saying, like we started looking at this a long, long time ago, and it's funny how now it's starting to become common knowledge to a lot of people know about this shit. A lot of
Y'all
people
heard of
know at
Brother
least about
Polite?
some of it. What's that?
Y'all heard of Brother Polite?
Yeah, I heard about it for like, yeah,
That's one of my men. I like Brother Polite. I like Professor Larry. All these people come out of
yeah.
Sinetta
Hmm.
TV, man. It's just like, and they touch and talk on this type of stuff all the time. It's more good. It's better. The better content is the old stuff compared to the newer stuff. But that
Absolutely.
I don't see the Anunnaki and Nibiru being trendy. You get what I'm saying? I don't
Not
see it
none of
being
it is
It's
trendy.
an
trendy.
old
None of
one.
it is trendy.
No, this was big. Like in that whole community, it was big. Like 10 years ago, I remember that it was like big to do about it. People were talking about it like crazy, and
People
then
used to walk and sit and talk about it all day, and to the point where they was like, "Yo, we have to put this on YouTube." You know what I'm saying?
no,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit about it. You'll go and see all the stories about it on YouTube are from like a year or 2 years ago or 11 to 13 years ago. Just look at the
Oh yeah.
date.
Okay. So to add on to that, when I first kind of kicked off on YouTube, I started watching Project Camelot. That's who introduced me to David Icke. This
Project,
one
yep. Project Camelot, yep.
Project Camelot used to have some of the craziest topics. I used to be like, what? And then once you see it, it's credited scholars, scientists, professors,
Hmm.
people who worked in these fields who
Yep.
telling these stories about whether it's encounter with aliens, whether it's one dude told a story about how they had a UFO that can levitate that it had its own energy source off a box
Hmm.
or something. They just
Well,
it's
check
all
this out, yo. It's so funny you said that now, right? Now the military has a 10-year gap on what they release to the public, if they release it to the
facts,
public.
facts. I
Now,
say
check this
20.
out. You remember now you can go buy lamps that the light bulb levitates and is powered by the magnetic
Mm,
force
up
from the
under it.
magnet. Remember?
They've
Right.
been doing that. Everybody got
Isn't
floating
that
shit.
crazy? Isn't that shit
Everybody's
Yeah.
got like those
crazy?
floating balls and
Yeah.
floating discs.
I think
That's
that's in Area 51. They been
magnetism.
had
It's
that
just
shit, and they
magnetism.
found out. The dude was telling the actual dude on Project Camelot was telling how he was employed to kind of break down and see how did this float. Well, how was it
Hmm.
getting this gravitational pull? But anybody who gravitate, all you got to do is know the coordinates and tap into the gravitational pull. That's how
That's
you
it.
getting. That's it.
Yeah. It's all
But
it's
but
all
but
it's all it's
mechanical
all
wise, he said they
frequency,
had some shit.
vibration, and energy.
He said they had some shit that ain't had no exhaust system, no engine,
No
no none of
nothing. Yep.
that. Just like got an energy source and a magnetic pull, and that's it.
And
Like
that
okay, a
Yep.
energy source
Merkaba.
is
It
based
kind of
off
it's
of
like a
element.
Merkaba.
That energy source you're speaking about is based off of element 115, which is what this guy was talking about back in the 80s when he made that video, and that's what they just discovered and found with the Hadron Collider. They
And what
proved
was
that shit
115?
exists.
It's a what is it? It's a particle or something?
No, it's I don't know what the hell it is, to be honest. He explains it. I don't remember, but it's an element that he was saying existed, and people were saying he was crazy. And then all of a sudden, now it shows up that it is in fact real. But the only difference is the element 115 that they were using, as they were using it for the power source. Apparently, it's in like a stable condition. I don't know if it's solid, liquid, whatever, but it's a stable condition. Whereas the ones that they're making in the Large Hadron Collider appear and then disappear, but they know they exist.
Okay, you're trying to say them ones they in the quantum world, but this one right here they made us that stayed. Okay,
So
they trying to
they found
they
this
trying to
source.
find the antimatter too. They trying to find out that too.
Antimatter is dangerous. That shit's even more
Yeah.
dangerous than the Large Hadron Collider.
So
Antimatter, literally, literally, antimatter is like the
The
opposite
stuff
of the
that
Big
holds
Bang.
everything together.
yeah,
But if you get it to react, if you get it to have a reaction, or you break that particle against, electrons or a particle of its own, that could fucking literally start the opposite
AKB.
of. It could start the opposite of the Big Bang. It could like start like a
Nah,
black
that's
hole.
facts. It can implode everything. But
We
KB,
need to
let
be
me ask
very
you this
careful with what
question.
we're doing. The science is
You you,
necessary, but
you
we need to be
understand
very
quantum
careful.
physics, right?
Just
understand.
understand
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
quantum physics,
So
but I understand
so
some
with
of
that,
it.
so quantum physics basically saying everything's the same. Only time it changes when you put your consciousness to it, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so with that being said, is that a simulation like the Matrix?
Yes.
Like everything
The
is around us.
simulation
It
theory
only
is
develops and creates when you put your consciousness to it.
Because
simulation
once
theory is
again, it's us. It's us. We're the missing element. We're the missing piece, right? So like is the same thing. Like you ever heard of the tell of how they say, vampires, you can't see them in the mirror.
Right, right.
Um Vampires drink blood, stuff like that, right?
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
You ever heard of red mercury?
Yeah.
Of course.
Red mercury doesn't have a reflection.
Right, right.
You put it in the mirror, it doesn't reflect. You don't see it in the mirror,
Neither does fire.
right? So now um the TVs that we used to have, that used to turn the TV, you have the antenna, the old black and white TVs, they used to have
Hmm.
red mercury in it,
Right,
right?
right.
They got rid of the red mercury, right? Because the red mercury, you could take red mercury and take it yourself and put it in a bowl. You got to be careful, wear gloves and shit. Put in a glass bowl, right? And then connect two wires to it, right? Take a battery, you'll spin the red mercury, and the red mercury, you can hook up an antenna. You can pull any frequency any radio frequency anywhere, right? So there was a guy in Africa, in Kenya, who had a Sony flat screen TV, and he did the same thing. He took red mercury, he made a chip where it powers the TV. What it did was it pulled radio signals, converted the radio signals to energy, and he was able to power the TV.
Hey, how about this though? Y'all remember the shooting that happened in Buffalo at the grocery store, right?
Yeah, the guy, yeah, he invented the car that run on water.
Come on, KB.
That's why they
He
killed him. It wasn't about, I
right.
tell people, listen, I tell people that, oh no, the guy went in there, he killed. I said, no,
But
he
how about this,
didn't.
KB? They can't say it didn't happen because he got the picture and the award for having the engine that ran off
Right. And he
water.
was on the news a
He was
couple
on the
days
news.
before that.
He was on the news, man.
You
And you
talking
know
about the
what's
guy from the
crazy? You know what's
Midwest back
crazy?
in the 80s or the early 90s?
Exactly, KB. Exactly. I mean, exactly, B-Rad. It was a
Yep.
person back in the day who did the same thing who they killed,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
He
They
was on
killed
the
him
local
too.
news. He was
They
on
He was
killed him
what?
local
too.
news.
He was what,
I'm sorry.
B-Rad?
Yeah, that guy back in the day who made it, like in the late 80s, early 90s, I think the late
Right.
80s. He made it, same shit, car that ran on water, like
Yep.
not a lot of it, and very clean. And he went on the local news because back then
Yep.
there was no internet and shit. So he went on local news and fucking they ran the story and they showed it. And then the next day, the government showed up, seized his patents. So now he doesn't own them
He
and he
wore
can't ever make
glasses,
it.
right? He wore
Yeah,
glasses,
he wore
right?
glasses, white
Yeah,
guy.
I know who you
he
talking
was an
about. I
older
know who you
white guy.
talking about. I know you
He
talking
was
about.
he was a he was just a regular worker. He knew nothing about anything. He just stumbled upon making it, and they
Right.
wanted to buy it from him, and he chose not to
Exactly.
sell. And then
Exactly.
that's when the government came. They seized all
Here,
his stuff. He had a meeting with them. He said to his brother came with him. He said to his brother, "I don't feel well. I think they poisoned me." That's what he
Right.
said.
But
And his
KB,
brother
can you
died.
imagine what they said when they found out these dudes out here making engines from water? Like, oh,
Yeah,
they did
you know how
what?
many patents? Do you know how many patents get seized a year in America? It's
You
tons.
right. You
it's
The
right.
patent
You right.
tons.
office,
B Rad. You
they
right.
come
B
in,
Rad.
they come in. Anything that's valuable, dangerous, or super lucrative, or world changing in any way, usually gets snagged up, and you can't say shit, and it's legal for them to do apparently,
Well,
and
Just
they
like the
and then
Shark
they take it
Tanks.
and use it sometimes too.
all right,
Just like
let's
the
go
Shark.
deeper. Let's go deeper. You ready? We're gonna go deeper. Just pause, but we're gonna go deeper.
Pause.
I wonder
This
where
is
this ends.
this
I
is
would love to see
this
where we
is
end
you
up at.
ready?
That'd be fucking
This
funny.
is it. This is it. It's
All
a
right.
reason why all of this stuff is happening. The higher you go up, right? The higher you go up, it has nothing to do with good and bad.
Hmm.
It's energy. We
Right.
always say things are bad. Oh, it's bad for you,
Nah, how about this though?
right?
Good and bad are the same thing. You can't have
They
one without the
are.
other.
Yeah,
No, good and bad, there's a
but
distinct
you got to
difference.
remember
Good and bad
something.
is the intention of the
We're,
individual.
we're
It wouldn't
talking,
be the
but
consciousness you achieve. It's the
Well,
individual who
I'm
achieves
talking
that goal.
polarity. I'm talking polarity.
polarity.
It's a
Okay, okay,
positive and a
okay.
negative to
Right,
everything.
but
Oh,
but even a positive and a negative, it's no such thing as bad and good,
no,
They
yeah,
they're
right?
it's,
just label
it's
they're
equal.
label it bad because it's negative, but we're not talking about that.
But
We know
that's
we're not talking
us.
about that.
Right,
Right,
right. But
right.
yep, that's us labeling. But the higher you go, there's no such thing. That's why in government you have multiple different departments. Each department is fighting against each other for their point of view of what they want. Right? That's how you have all these different black ops. These are all different parts of government.
So,
Everybody thinks that the one government is bad. No, there's different departments. The
hey, hey,
government
hey,
is a vehicle.
hey, but look, KB, you agree about they did that because he made that motor, right? So do
I
you think that?
agree.
So let me
Yes,
ask you
yes.
this though: do you think this dude is kind of like a Manchurian candidate, where they somehow just set him off? Cause
No, a lot of people have done this.
Well, I want to say
Multiple
that yeah,
people have
a
done this
lot of people have
already.
done the same thing he created. A
Apparently,
lot
it's
of people have done this
extremely
already.
simple. It's extremely simple. You
okay,
just have to like figure out like
And
what to do
not
it
even
and do it.
now. Now you could look. I'll break it down to you. Look at right now. Like I said this before, right? I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna ask both of y'all. B-Rap, I know you know this, but because I asked you this already. When was the first electric car?
I don't.
Facts.
I
Facts.
if you ask me, it was probably in antiquity.
Yep.
Antiquity? Okay,
Yeah.
so the first
1600.
electric car, right, that we can say documented that was in massive use was in the 1830s, where it's probably before that, but this is when the electric car was a known household thing, right? In the 1830s,
Here's the
right?
electric carriage.
Yep, was the first electric carriage. You know the scooters that everybody ride, the electric scooters?
Hmm.
Ben
They
had
had
that.
those already, right?
So what you
So what happened to them? What happened to all of that? Why did it
Big
just stop
oil.
and we had no electric stuff no more?
Big
because of
oil.
oil and gas, they wanted to go the gas oil
Because
way
the
instead of the
Rockefellers wanted to
yeah.
buy his patent and he said no. So the Rockefellers put a slander campaign because they wanted to push what? Petro. Same
Right,
thing that happened with the world blimps. How we
right.
used to travel around in blimps.
On
The
hydrogen.
Hagenberg, right?
The Hindenburg.
Hindenburg.
That, but that
The
was a
Hindenburg
bad
mysteriously
situation.
caught on fire. It
They re,
mysteriously caught on fire.
no, that was explained. That was fully explained. Basically, plus that balloon, that giant balloon, is filled with hydrogen gas, the most
Yeah,
flammable thing known to man,
So
or
yeah.
at
is
least back
gas,
then.
It was a
You don't
scientific
know, but
a
you don't need to
miscalculation.
use something like that.
They didn't
right? But
understand. The
the
same way
guy,
we built with lead all back then, they didn't know. They didn't understand fully.
no, that's not even true. No, is that even building with lead? That's not true. See, it's like the way they construct everything is so wrong. Like they tell us all of these things, which is just is, and we build off of it. Like, oh, okay, this and that. Like a lot of people don't know that we had cars that rode on two wheels that had gyroscopes in them that the car couldn't flip over. We had that in the 1820s.
Well,
That
you
one
know,
I've never heard.
back in the day, STEM and science was pushed more. Like
Yeah,
we
Extremely.
science was it.
yeah,
Science was
science
it.
was the shit back then. So
Yeah,
it was a
science
lot of
now,
more.
like, I'm
That's
sorry.
what birthed all these 70s space movies and everything, 80s space
Exactly.
movies. They were on it more back then. That's why STEM, you don't see STEM in the curriculum nowadays.
No, you don't.
Not in
So,
America, but you do everywhere
well,
else.
well,
You
you
do
right,
everywhere
B-Rad.
else. Yeah.
You right,
And you hear
B-Rad.
that
You
in the
right.
UFC because all these guys live in South America and other places and they can get it done, and it's remarkable. But the
Right.
thing is you can get stem cells yourself too. It's possible to get them, but there's two different types. There's
But
one type that's made of dead stem cells, and it really doesn't work. But then there's another type that's made of live stem cells. That's the shit they don't want us fucking with.
well, I mean,
Of course.
but Rockefeller had got about 4 or 5 stem cell transplants before he died. That was keeping him alive. And
Yeah,
where
they
Right.
they
didn't
get
they didn't
and where they
outlaw it
getting it
until
from?
recently.
Hey, look, I just had a fucking my little one, 11 months old. We just had a baby, and I was pissed at my old lady because they didn't asked us, do we want our umbilical sac?
Yeah, you talking about the
Or the
placenta? Yeah,
placenta.
Yeah,
exactly.
placenta. I was
Because they
pissed
take
about
it.
that. I'm like, they
You know how
take
much
it and
money they make off of it?
I already know they black market donor and they give it.
$75,000.
Come on,
God
man, they
damn.
piss me off, man.
Yo, people
That
eat it.
pissed me off, man. For
People
real,
eat
That's
for
it.
true.
real.
People do eat it.
It's nuts. And that's like
You can,
normal.
yeah, you can dry it. You can dehydrate it, dry it, and eat it. But my thing is, I was like, why the nurse ain't say nothing about it? That's robbery.
They don't
It
offer you
is
the afterbirth.
robbery.
They don't offer you the afterbirth. Like that's like if you do that shit at
No,
home. It's
back
like a
then they
quarter birth.
did. Back then you can choose to be like either say, listen, you can say don't disconnect the umbilical cord, let the placenta hang and let it finish pumping before you get rid of it or cut
And I'm
it.
Right.
sure if
And
you have
even
an
when they cut
extreme.
it, you can say let me have it. Especially because the hospital bills you. So you can tell them
For it.
anything. Let me have
Yep.
Yeah,
my shit.
no, and
You know what I'm
and
saying?
I think I don't I just don't I've never heard it offered, but I imagine if you have a religious reason, they would absolutely have to give it to you. Like if they don't just
Yeah.
give it to people, if you had a
See, but the
religious
thing is,
reason,
like KB saying, they set it up to where, oh, we don't expect these people to ask. They don't. Once you ask them, like I asked one nurse, is this shot? She was giving my daughter a shot. I said, is this shot mercury based? She was like, no, I
Oh
don't.
my.
She
Oh
was like,
my
I don't think.
God.
She said, I don't think the FDA approve of that. I was like,
you're like,
do
what?
you
It's
know
on
what they
page
approve of
37.
all the time that hurt people? What are you talking
Yo,
about? Is it
you
mercury
know what's
based?
so funny that you said that? I took
What's
my
that?
daughter to the dentist, right?
Yeah.
And my dentist, right? She was asking questions and she was like, "Oh, is she all up to shots?" I
Mm.
said, what shots? And she said some shot. And she was like, she's gonna have to get this, right? Because it was like her doctor and then it was a her dentist was there too. So it's
It could
like a
be a
urgent care
polio. It
for
can even be a polio because if
right.
you don't get certain things, they won't allow you to mingle with everybody.
Exactly. And so it's like a urgent care for kids, but it's not a it's I don't it's upstate. It's upstate. So anyway, um I said no. I said why would I give her that? I said do you give your children this? And I know her. You know what she did? She closed the door.
Mm.
The assistant went out, right? Went out, took the stuff and walked out. She closed the door and she said straight up, she said, don't give her this. I don't give this to my kids.
Mm.
She said, I have to say it by law. I have to tell you. She said, don't do it. She said, yes, that they get a kickback for every child that takes it.
Of course, it's a business. It's
It's
insane.
a business.
But also, what you have
Right.
to understand is there are
Her
certain
kids take
vaccines.
no shots,
Well, no,
nothing.
there's certain vaccines you absolutely have to have in order to go to public school and be allowed to like,
Exactly.
have a normal
Exactly. To be
life.
Right,
indoctrinated, you have to
But
be
there's
in a
only so many. There's only so many.
right.
But they offer
immunizations.
they
And
offer
think about this,
crazy
B-Rad.
amounts.
They did it to us. Remember when you was in elementary? They can't remember they used to have a big shit that hurt your arm,
Fuck
the
yeah,
air
we had
cartridge
Yeah.
a
shit. To be like,
definitely,
oh,
Yup. You're like, oh, yup.
you be dizzy
definitely.
as hell after that. You be like,
But
yo, they
that's
was
why
fucking us
polio.
up.
But that's why polio. Things like that is why polio hasn't existed in America in what 80
Nah,
years.
nah, nah. It's positive benefits, definitely, definitely.
But on the other hand, this is crazy. I'm sure you guys heard about this. That Bill Gates had funded a
Oh, come
company
on
that
now,
creates
come
Yes.
vaccines.
on.
Creates
Yes.
vaccines, and they vaccinated what was it like 8 or 80,000 children in
They
Africa,
sterilized them.
and like
Right, they
90% of them
sterilized them.
wound up contracting fucking that shit. They all wound up getting it. Like the
How
thing
about
that
Yeah.
this
they
though?
vaccinated, they
I'm
got
gonna
it. They
tell you
wound up
something
with
else.
polio.
I'm gonna tell you something else. Bill, see, and Melinda had a conscience. That's why she got the fuck away from
I'm
him. But
not
look,
saying it's intentional. I'm just saying like
He said Melinda had a
bro,
conscience.
bro, it was intentional.
I'm
That's
not
why
saying it
Melinda
was or
got.
wasn't. I'm just saying it happened, and that's fucking
But look,
crazy.
they also made robot mosquitoes to cure malaria.
Yes, they did. Yep.
Bro, you didn't even hear about this. This one chick. If you guys are into UFOs, you see her on all the history shit now. But back in the day, she was like a fringe reporter who would report on weird shit. But she's very respected. If you saw her, you recognize. She has like curly, like reddish hair, skinny lady, and like she's on all the UFO shows on History Channel. Like she's a reporter. She's like an investigative journalist.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You would know if you saw her. So anyway, this chick is wild, man. She's definitely a wild chick. But shit, I'm trying to think of why the fuck I just brought her up. My explanation was too long. What the fuck? What was the last thing you just said?
About the mosquitoes, the robot. You was talking
Oh
about the
yeah, yeah, yeah. She just put out. She had put out an interview and information regarding a certain topic. I believe it was in China. I believe it was
hmm
in China
Mm-hmm.
where they're creating weaponized robots basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's nano. It's nano. They got nano weapon like the soldier, GI soldier.
Yep.
They gonna do all of the events. It's gonna be nano technology, nano weapons, nano everything. I mean,
Well, these
we
shits
already
are
here. We
these
already
things.
here.
These things basically are like they look kind of like robots from what you can see.
Hey, how
You
about
saw
this
that.
though? The youth don't know nothing about the X Files. I come up
No.
Oh
off
yeah,
that.
yeah, they
So
yeah.
what we talking about now ain't weird and crazy because they used to have TV shows on about this.
About it.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen robots on Good Morning America. They walk. They can walk downstairs. You know,
How
our
about this though?
military uses bomb robots.
Oh man.
Disneyland got a iRobot AI that can flip and
That shit's coming.
Right. But
Anything in science
that's not
fiction,
even
technology wise, is coming
that's
50
not even
years
the
later.
craziest part. The
No,
craziest
oh
part
no,
is
this is
that
the craziest part. This is the crazy about that story. So they have these soldiers, they're weaponized and they're using them and shit, you know, working with them and stuff. Apparently, fucking like 20 scientists and like 9 other people got smoked by these things because they turned around and
mm,
started turning on the scientists behind them. They tried to kill the uplink to the satellite, or they tried to kill their programming, which they did on a few of them. Another one was able to contact into like a satellite and download their entire mainframe, turn them off, and
D-Rad,
fucking
you
just
right
started
though
blowing
because
themselves
they
up.
had a
This is part
story
of the
about
story that
two.
came out. I'm telling you, it's wild shit.
They had two robots they made to interact with each other, and
yep.
the scientist said after a while they wasn't speaking the program we taught them. He said
Different
after a
language,
while
They made up their own language.
their own
he said
language.
after a while we realized they knew we was looking and made up their own language. He said we had to unplug that shit, man.
Of course,
So they
if you're a
compute
conscious
too
being,
fast.
if you're a conscious being and you can think freely, right? And even if you lack emotion, but you can do all the rest of that, and your AI, artificial real intelligence, you'd be very well aware that there's some fucking meat monkey outside of the box you're in that can turn you off and fuck with you. So you're gonna get rid of that person
Of
immediately.
course,
It's a
you want to
threat.
live. But you got to think for a second. What's consciousness? They're exactly like us. They're exactly like us,
Free will
and
to make
their
choice is the
programming
difference.
system, right? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, that there's an AI, like the same shit in Terminator. There's an AI, right? That is more far advanced. That's why, Donald Trump, right? That's why Trump. He just said, what did he say? Because he knows all of this shit is happening. It's either you're gonna partner with like the Galactic Federation or you're not, and they're not gonna protect you. But
Well, not even
right?
that. Those AI don't have. They're like us with the consciousness, but they don't have the SOL, the soul. You know what I'm saying?
No. They don't. They don't. So what they want is for us to evolve because they're collecting our DNA,
See,
right?
but I think we're gonna
So
have. Okay,
They
go
want
ahead,
the
Buffalo.
soul. They want the
right.
soul.
They want the soul. They want to be able to go back to the infinite creator. That's
The
what they
one thing
want to do. They
AI
want to go
doesn't
back to
have
Right.
is
We
God.
talking
soul.
about the architect. They want to go
They
and
want the
see the grand
architect.
architect.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Right.
so basically that's why Trump just declared, right? Because now it's all this activity now because they saying that this galactic war is over. It's a peace treaty now, right? So now he's just like, yo, now we're going to create the strongest military department, right, in history. Now before it was the Navy. Now what it is space.
See, but I think the next war is gonna be like Ready Player One. I think it's gonna be
Of course.
I think it's gonna be Matrix fault and not space fault. I think it's gonna be fault online through the like when the AI say just like in Terminator when they hit the singularity,
Hmm.
everything went to hell. I think that's where the war is
Right.
gonna be fault
But it's
of
not, but it's right.
coding,
Right, I believe that as
Hey guys,
well.
real quick
But it's
before we
not.
jump over
But
to this.
I'm not saying. As far as war, I'm saying that the reason why they made the space military is because now we're gonna have the ability to travel,
Oh,
regular
okay,
people.
yeah. They been had a space station up there, so
Right,
you right, you
exactly.
right.
So now,
Fellas,
if
I definitely
just
want to get into
imagine
this,
for a
but real
second,
quick.
if you could go and you knew how to maneuver out of this out of the dimension, right? And all the different densities, you know how to you have a vehicle that can cut right through it, right?
See, but the
Because you got
thing,
all these billionaires now.
the problem is
They're gonna
gonna
want to
be.
regulate it.
You see what the problem is going to be once you cross that dimension? You're not going to be equipped. You barely can are equipped for this low level
Exactly.
dimension. As soon as
Exactly.
you cross over, it's going to be so much you're going to be receptive to. It's not going to be
Hmm.
worth it, man, because you barely have the senses to calculate this reality. At
Right.
least,
Other
at
dimensions,
least.
you're not probably going to be in a physical form. So, like, that's
Come
going to
on,
tweak
B-Rad.
people's mind
Well,
right
you
off.
Come
don't
on,
know.
B-Rad.
That's the thing. You don't know. You have some cultures, right? You have some cultures in Mexico where they had these big slabs cut out, and it's such a magnetic pull in this doorway. It's like a doorway, right? And the doorway is huge, and it's just a rock with a cutout doorway, but it's still solid. You can't walk through it, right? And they're saying that it's a Stargate. And then when they did
Oh, you talking about over there in I think it's Iran.
so,
No,
Iran have
It's on
yep, Iran have them
it's on
too.
top of the mountaintop. It's on top of
Right,
a mountain.
right.
Right, right.
And what happens is what happened is that the frequency on it is so strong, the magnetic pull is so strong, you can step in it, turn sideways, lean forward, right? And they said that it's information they don't know. And
See, but the
then
thing is, you have to be conscious enough to even
your
because
conscience, yes,
imagine crossing and transitioning to a high frequency. You ain't fit for it.
can
right,
scramble your mind. It could scramble
B
your
right.
mind.
Rad, B
It
Rad,
could
B Rad.
destroy
You
your
said
body.
something about when you cross over
May
you
not
not
even
be
be a
in a fit
physical form.
in a fit. Okay, so I want you to illustrate, kind of illustrate what you mean by that.
Okay, so at that point, basically, let's say, and now let's first get this out. If there are multiverses and shit like that, or infinite, you know, possibilities for your life, you could go into your other body in a different dimension. But then when you step into
Right.
higher dimensions or lower dimensions, you may not have a physical form. You could be a ball of
Mm,
energy, right? And
mm.
at this energy, now on this level, you're absorbing information from all around you. You know everything, instant download. You're connected. You're wired.
Like a light beam, basically.
Exactly. And
Right.
at that point,
Like
it's a
shoot of
higher level of consciousness.
consciousness.
Yeah, a lot of people probably
Oh
couldn't
my
handle having
God.
all that
And check
information
this though, and
that
check this.
much.
If you was a ball of light, you would be able to move at the speed of light, which means you wouldn't be aging.
Well,
Because
I said energy. I said a ball of
time
energy.
okay, time only exists on Earth. You know that, right?
So
Like in this.
also, a ball of energy would probably be able to create its own Einstein-Rosen bridge and fold space and not travel, so no time needed there
Mm,
if it's energy.
right. See,
You know, but
and I
I'm but this
and like we were speaking on as far as that's probably what they're trying to get to.
It's probably what they're trying to get to.
no
That's why.
what
That's why
what
I feel that once I heard it, I was just like, wow.
no, but
And
check it
and
out, check it
and
out.
now you see the AI stuff popping up everywhere, like everywhere. AI, 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 AI. Oh, you could AI can do this. AI can do that. Jay-Z just invested 16 million in robotic chefs
Doesn't mean he believes in
for
it. Just means that he knows
restaurants.
it's going to make dough, even if it doesn't make dough and come off while it's being built up. It's going to make money on the stock market for
I
sure.
mean
That's
that,
just an investment.
that's just
It's
millionaires
just an
trying to get
investment.
ahead of the curve. He's trying to get ahead of the curve, and I respect him for
It's the
that.
newest
Me
technology. You should
too.
always do that when you got loot.
Yeah, yeah, but we already here. We got AI. We're on AI right now talking, so it's already
Right,
here.
exactly.
Well,
It's
Exactly.
already
The
here.
AI thing definitely makes sense to me.
We're you B Rad in New York. I'm down south. KB, where you at?
I'm in New York too.
Are you
Okay,
really?
see
Oh, shit.
that's AI right there.
Right, right. No, 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 no. You're right. You're right. But it's a different type of AI.
No,
This,
I,
this,
I know what you're talking about. You talking about that one that's not necessary. You see, expounding on what you're
'cause you,
talking about as far as the one who got the consciousness but not the
No,
soul.
that's the difference. Look, we have insane learned programs that act very much like AI. The difference is AI is sentient. It's aware of its
yeah, it's
existence,
aware.
and it
It's
wants.
aware.
It
Yep.
wants. That's
After
the
a
Yeah,
while,
difference.
it's like, why am I listening to you?
see, but
It's like this.
why isn't that the bigger? Your boy quit because he found out it was a sentient. Why isn't
Yeah.
that like all over headlines? Like, y'all, we got a sentient AI. Do y'all understand? Hello.
Because the
Well,
implications are insane.
yeah.
It can
Oh,
disprove
right,
God
right,
to
right,
people. It can create
Well,
mass
you
right.
want to hear something
hysteria.
even
It can
crazier
create
than that?
crazy
They'll probably
confusion,
be knocking at my door, huh?
Yo,
nuclear war, because somebody just said, "Yo,
yo,
they can beat us now. They can beat us
yo.
now. They went sentient. They can beat us now. Nuke everything." That's what dumb
Well,
people
check this
do.
out. You want to hear
Yeah.
something? This is the crazy part. Is two things. One, China just made strippers that are robots that look just they AI everything look
I just
just
want to say
like
this. I respect everybody in the chat and everything, but yo, China is acting real funky lately, and they're
See,
just
but
weird on a lot of things,
they're
but
ahead of the
not
curve.
cool.
We're gonna be right now. They have a pandemic with they call throwaway women who
yep.
aren't. We're right behind them. Anything that look at the pods and where they live at, and look at what happened to the housing crisis right now. We're at least 10 years behind China. Anything that happened there is gonna happen here. I guarantee it. We
Right.
having the same problem. Even with the
No, look,
population, they got more old people than young people there.
they're expanding.
Yeah.
So do we. So do we. So does America. That's how you're on the decline because your population's gotten older instead of younger. That's a bad move. We're true for that too, though. But
They
in
want. I think
China,
they want us all in pods. Like, have you seen that new Keenan and Kel commercial where he talking to the
Yes.
refrigerator and never leave
Yes.
home, never leave home. I'm
yes,
like, hold on, that's you trying to brain fuck me. That's what y'all want. That's what y'all want us.
check it
Mm-hmm.
In
out.
pod.
China
To
definitely has
rely on it.
crazy. China has crazy technology, information. Their infrastructure is getting stronger and stronger. But you have to understand that is hollow. That looks very scary, and it is dangerous. But they didn't do the research behind it. They didn't develop that shit. They're the number
Hmm.
one thieves of intellectual property in the world. They
See, but the
steal
thing,
everybody's fucking research. So they didn't do the research. They didn't do the math. So they can't
right?
fix these things. They can't expand on them as well as we can
The
because we've
scary
done the
thing
math.
about China is we think New York City is big, right? They have one city that's 10 times, Guangzhou is 10 times bigger than New York in the building. I advise everybody go to YouTube and look up the top 10 biggest cities, the top
Mm-hmm.
10 biggest cities in China. And they cities are like New York times, like New York probably got 8
It's
million. They got
megalithic.
They can
15
rock, but
million.
we have major military bases and air bases in just about every country and all over them. Like we're everywhere at all times. These guys have a little bit of area in the Pacific that we don't really know where they go sometimes, but they're never really gone too long. We know them. They
And
can't get us off.
we're gonna have to follow their trend because they manufacture them, and we for one we're in debt to them. They manufacture everything. Did you
Mm-hmm.
know that China got a shit called CNC on YouTube? It's an actual Chinese network that they broadcast our news. Yo,
Yo,
we
Oh
we ain't
yeah.
they make
Yes.
all of their money off of us importing to us. They make insane amounts of money importing to
we
us.
don't have no jobs
Why would they
made
bring
here.
us in?
So
That's what they want to do. They want to overthrow our government regime and switch us.
Yeah, they're doing that to Jamaica right now.
Never gonna fucking
There's
happen.
so many Chinese people in Jamaica.
how
There's
about
so many
Africa?
Chinese people in Africa. Yep.
Yeah,
Africa's crazy because so
Los
many people have
Angeles.
been in and out of there
Los
forever.
Angeles. Yeah. But see
Well, yes, those people
I
have
just
done
want to
that
I
for a
just want to say
long,
this to
long time. That's
everybody.
different.
I want to say this is that does this really matter? Because if we really think about it, right? Every everybody came together to sign a peace treaty that you can't leave. So is this all a distraction to keep you here, to keep you focused on this stuff? Right? Because no one's really talking about the peace treaty that everybody signed. I'm going to war with you, but me and you we're gonna uphold this peace treaty about nobody can go to Antarctica.
Yeah,
Well, how
that's I
about
was just
this
gonna
though?
say
How
that
about
in a
this?
world where we
What about
can't
that?
agree on shit, everybody agreed that nobody can go to Antarctica. It's like, what the fuck is that? Sorry, go ahead.
I think that like Reagan said, or was that Kennedy? One of these presidents came out and kind of subliminally said something about we got bigger problems than us. I
Oh
personally
yeah,
think
It
I
was
personally think
Ronald
we
Reagan.
it was Reagan.
it
So
was
Reagan.
Reagan.
He's like,
he was
imagine one day if we were to face a foreign enemy much greater than ourselves, from outside of
mm,
this place.
Yep, and we all got
Imagine
to
how
stick
quickly,
together.
right.
our differences would disappear
Yep,
if we had a common enemy.
See, but the thing is, they got sentience, they have grays, they got all
yep,
these entities. They wouldn't,
yep.
and these people ain't necessarily in our favor. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So I
but
think,
see, that's the
hold
thing.
on. Let me say this though.
Hmm. Go
I
ahead.
think AI will help us fight that bigger problem.
I believe so. Yes, the AI that we're creating. Yes,
No,
this.
not necessarily something we're creating like Elon Musk saying is like somehow incorporating it with us to where we can walk outside with us and our person and look in the air and say, oh, that's a COVID spot right there. Don't go near that. Or hey,
Right,
your sodium is low. Go ahead and get this up. We want to have to
right.
incorporate somehow, some way AI into our bodies.
Yeah, but if you do, then
Well,
then they
then
would easily be able to
you have a
train.
way to get hacked.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's expound. We're already a code that can get hacked because every doctor know the frequency of a healthy heart, liver. They
Right,
dumb
but
down
it's
the
one thing you're
frequencies.
not saying. Is one thing you're not saying. Right, and is that melanin actually codes the cell. So
Right.
this is the reason why that we eat that in America. They have a whole bunch of junk
Right.
food, everything to break your cells down,
I mean,
and
it,
that's how
no,
they're
not
able
even
to
that.
change the
It's
DNA.
it's more to calcify your pineal gland because we
Of
with
course,
melanin and your pineal gland, they know we can do some interstellar shit with that. So
If you guys are worried about them changing your DNA, like you should have been concerned about the COVID shot because basically,
exactly. That's true.
that shot.
hold on, don't say that word.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. This
yeah,
could
I
get
get that.
flagged. Don't say that. Yeah,
All right. Well, anyway, regardless, I won't say it again.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
what you were getting was it's called mRNA.
mRNA.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, right, right, right,
Body,
right.
the genetic code of your body is DNA and RNA. It's
But
made
my
up
thing,
of
I
the
be trying
code.
to get people to realize
But hold
DNA.
on, really quick. So mRNA stands for medical. It means research. So
Hmm.
research RNA. It's all fucking information encoding. Lots of it. Lots of it. And
Okay,
they just
so
stuck it
right
in you.
there,
What
that
what can it possibly do to you? A lot.
see,
A
but my
lot.
thing is, I'm talking on that point. I'm expanding on that point. I personally think we are computer programmed. Like a virus ain't nothing. The same way you can get a virus on your computer, you get a virus in your body. It's the same code.
Absolutely.
We're an organic
It's
computer,
coding.
100%.
We our brains are
Say that
computers. We
again. Say that again.
We're an organic supercomputer. That's what we are, an organic
And
computer.
that's
right.
exactly what we are. That we are what AI wants to be,
See,
and
but
we're sitting here trying to
see,
be what an AI is.
the supercomputer is the processing, but we also have a soul that which makes us, which separates us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But after a while, think about it. Right. We have a soul, but to an AI, you know, they feel they have a soul. They feel that their consciousness
Okay,
is a
okay. You know
soul,
what? You know why I take that back? Because the singularity, which is a cloud they
which is
can
a
all
cloud.
exist on. They can
Exactly.
all exchange information. So one of them can die, and the next one can be born with that same information through the cloud. So you know what? I
They
take that
already
back.
proved that. They
remember that
proved that
movie,
exists in life already here.
You say
what was
what,
the
B
movie
Rev?
with the robot? Remember the robot? The
They
movie
already
with the
proved. I'm sorry. They already proved what you're talking about through mice here in on Earth. They proved that basically
Okay,
handing down unknown information
right.
to a certain group, like handing information down to a younger generation that they never experienced, but now they just know. They already
Okay,
proved that
KB,
that happened. They did it with
KB, what
mice.
movie you talking about? You talking about Ex Machina, Ex Machina, whatever you call it?
No, 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 no. Remember the one that it was on TV? It was like the dude transferred his consciousness at the end into the robot, Chippy
Oh,
or
that was
Oh yeah,
Chappie. That was
Chippy.
Chappie.
Yo, and hold
That
on.
shit was
Let's
fire.
give a moment of silence for how fucking horrible that movie was, man.
yeah, bro, real talk.
Really? Yo, it was so bad. It was good. What are you talking about?
B
It was
Rad.
so
I know
bad.
what
It
you're
was
talking
good.
about. Okay, so look, for example, Face Off with Travolta and Nicolas
So
Cage. That
bad. It's
movie
good.
Yeah,
so horrible it's good,
So bad.
but
It's good.
Chappie was just hard,
horrible.
bro.
The
But think
concept was
about it.
great.
But think about it, right? Now, if there's a Galactus peace treaty, they are showing us exactly what's capable. They are showing us exactly who we are. They are showing us exactly all these things in
See,
movies.
but KB, I think in order for that to be a peace treaty, we would have to have either a sentient or alien deity on our side firsthand. Like we rocking with the people. This is what it is. Because until
We
then,
murder
they're
that
not
shit and
giving
we
us
give that
that.
fucking clout.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think they personally trying to stop a lot of these alien invasions because I think everybody ain't against us. You know what I'm saying?
No, no. Why you think these aliens? Well, check this out. There hasn't been any crashes in a long time,
I mean, it
right?
has. They just not reporting it.
Right. So even still, so I think those are mostly us now. But before,
Oh, okay,
I think they
okay.
were coming in trying to, you know, land and get here, and then
You talking about
get in with everybody.
Like Roswell.
Exactly. And now
Also,
it's like, no, we're gonna stop them from trying to come in. We got
also,
Right, but
there's
they got to
definitely
protect their asset because we're their asset, right?
well,
Because
exactly.
if
remember,
there are
Back to the Anunnaki and the Nibiru. Go ahead, be red.
if there are different species of extraterrestrials, whatever form they may take,
hmm
there is a like a galactic type thing going on or something like that. There's absolutely going to be beings that are on our side because when you get to a certain level of intelligence within certain species, violence no more plays. It's not a necessary tool.
it's
Things can
not
be
a
figured
necessary
out.
tool,
Violence is
right?
last
Right.
resort. And if you don't need to feed, or you can find, or you're smart enough to make other things, you don't need to kill to feed. So like killing is not even it's not even thought of by certain like
Right, because they don't even have that I need to kill to eat. They don't even have the will to want to eat to even nourish them. They working on a
Right.
whole
You don't need
different system.
so they
So I
don't have
don't need to
you
kill.
have your own sustainability. You have full
Right,
control over your body. You create. You can manipulate the body.
right.
Just like in Lucy.
See, well, let
yeah,
me ask
that
y'all
was
this.
an amazing movie.
Let me ask you this. I was having a conversation. The dude was trying to tell me that he think we're more advanced because we have technology, but we can't like you see Machu Picchu, for example, where they
Oh
got these
man.
big stone blocks within a fraction of a
Exactly.
centimeter, but we can't
Exactly.
duplicate that today. So I'm like, does technology make us more advanced, or have we degenerated because we still can't duplicate back then.
Bro, I
You're
spend
so
3 hours
right.
a day sitting in traffic. All right, if we were so fucking genius and had amazing technology, we wouldn't be doing that anymore.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Now
saying?
check
Right.
this out.
You right
Right
about that,
now,
B-Rad.
right, we had this conversation before. Right now, right, they're taking steps to realizing it, but they just putting information out. They found this information out in like 2009. Then they did a article on it in 2012, and now they're coming back around saying it again, where they use sunlight to cut like a laser. It can cut anything, sunlight, and they're saying how this is one step closer to understanding how they cut the stones, right? In all these cultures, because if you see it, like I showed I showed
Hold on. Before you expound on that point, they don't even have to go to light. If you increase water to a certain frequency, water will do some amazing things once
of
you increase
course
the frequency of it.
water could become plasma,
Okay,
right?
so
Remember, you got the seahorses.
you don't necessarily need light. You can manipulate the basic elements you have
But
with
what is
you.
light? Light mixed with hydrogen, light mixed with H2O in the air,
No,
right?
H2O is water. Hydrogen is
I mean
H2O.
H2O. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Right, water. Right, H2O. Right, so
Right.
it's already mixed in the air.
They
It's
got
already a mixture
videos
of
on
it.
YouTube. They got videos on YouTube. You can go and say water at a high frequency, and it looks like it was going down, but at a certain frequency, it looks like it's going up.
It looked like it's
So you
climbing back up like steps. Yeah, I seen
yeah,
that.
so you can put a ton of a block of water, a ton of stone on water, and vibrate it, and you move it.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me take you down the rabbit hole even further. Right, all these cathedral churches are not churches, right? So they're spiritual healing centers. That's what they are. They were built by the Tartarians. All the stone in front of it that has the designs, that circle designs with all the stones, those are solid state sound frequencies. If you I
You
have
talking
a
about like kind of like how Michelangelo church, the church where they got the Michelangelo painting is, how the dome is, and it resonates certain frequencies and all that.
exactly, and
Okay.
so they found out that all those circles with all the different stars and all the different designs in stone, those are all solidified frequencies, right?
Yeah,
And
they
so
had yeah.
the organs in the church, the reason why they call them organs is because they played it to heal certain parts of the body, and they resonate when you play them, when you hit them, they resonate the same frequency of the actual organ.
How about me expound on that? That's another point. Okay, that I must just like tennis shoes, right? How they don't want to. What is the bottom of your tennis shoe called? The thing
It's
inside of it.
it's a soul. They don't want you to. They don't want you to. They don't want you
They
to.
don't want your feet on the ground, man.
On the ground because
In connection with the earth,
exactly
like Avatar, basically. So they'll
right.
give you a
Remember,
shoe and put a soul in it.
right. Remember now. Remember, you are an electrical being, right? So you have to
Stay grounded.
stabilize and
Okay.
stay grounded. You have to. You
Okay.
have to do it at least once a day
So you trying to
because
say they constantly got us in rubber shoes?
yes,
Okay.
and we don't
Okay. I see
even
what you.
know. We don't
I see
even
what you're
know.
saying.
You know
We're
what's
not
even
even
better
paying
than that?
attention.
You know what's even
Okay.
better
So
than that?
it got to kind of be like up, down, up through our head, through our feet, back up through our head, but it's not
Yep.
completing because
It's not
we have
completing the
on a soul.
process. You
But
you right
also
on
check
it,
it out
bro.
in the Catholic religion and the Christian Catholic religion. When you pray, you put your hands together, right? You've seen it
Hmm.
before. Look like
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Miyagi about to do like a special touch thing. So anyway, so when you do that, they say that you're blocking off your reception. When
And
you
that's
pray,
true.
you have your
Yep.
hands up to the sky, and your
You
feet
talking
must
about
be
more like this,
preschool
B Rad? Are you talking about like this, or are you talking about together?
Together.
together,
When you put it
together,
together, you're
all together
stopping.
like
You're,
that.
you're, you're closing your frequency.
So what you
It's
do
a
is you take
closed
them out, you put your
frequency.
hand kind of up with your palms to the sky, and that's how you're supposed to absorb not only sun energy, but just energy from the entire, like everything. And if there's a being out there transferring energy, you're going to
See,
get
but
it a
it's
lot
all
easier.
about energy because
But
even
you'll
Right.
notice
I come
Catholic
up as a
priests during
Muslim,
masses, they have their hands up when they pray. They don't hold their hands together
right?
Hmm.
ever,
See, but
but they
even
don't
in
teach us that.
I think it's all about frequency because in Islam we pray according to what the sun is at, and to me the sun is a frequency.
Everything in the
Right.
world, in the solar system, and us, everything relates
Right.
to electrical like charges. It's all based on electrons and neutrons. Everything.
So
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 it's a way to pass information electronically super fast. So everything's based on information, 100%.
I'm gonna
We
tell
gonna
you
have
a
to come up
story.
with our next new topic, man, and try to like approach that and try to kind of like ex- uh, connect
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dots
let's
with
do
the
that.
yeah.
Let me tell you a story real quick. So I grew up in a Muslim family as well since I was 8. And my mother, right, my Umi, right,
Mm-hmm.
she said she was praying one time and she felt herself levitate and she got scared and ran out the room. She was praying and ran out the room.
I've heard about
And
something like this recently.
she's and when she was talking to my Abby, right?
Mm-hmm.
My basically he's my father. Um he told her, "Why'd you stop?" He said, "You were ascending higher. You was vibrating at a higher frequency, right? But we get scared because of all the things that are bombarded in our minds from TV shows, from everything that happens around us. We always think negative
How
about."
about this though?
Mm-hmm.
I think that they gave us the ego for our detriment
Mm,
because the ego is apart from your mind and your consciousness.
it
That's the
is.
shit talking to you and telling you shit that you ain't. You know what I'm saying? So
Create
I feel
self
like the
doubt.
ego was a program that was implemented into the matrix to keep us low frequency.
No, it's a
Right.
safety feature, so your ass don't go jump off a cliff chasing a bird.
No, no, no.
Or
I'm not
you
talking.
know
I'm
what it
not
could
talking.
be.
No, hold on. I'm not talking about that feeling that you get like if you're falling off a mountain. That's not ego.
No, I'm talking you
Right.
wouldn't even attempt to go near it because you wouldn't just fucking do that. And
No,
then
no,
at
he's saying something different. Yeah, he's not saying that. He's saying like they gave you an ego, right?
I think it's a safety system, personally, built into your brain. I think it's a brain's way of protecting itself from you wiling out and doing something it can't handle.
Well, ego makes you feel you can do that. An
Right.
ego makes you feel like you're the
Uh,
shit, or you're this, or you're that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. No, you're
So
right. You're right. You're
the
right. You're right.
thing is that I think the ego is in place because you need to learn how to not just humble yourself, but to know that there's a limit to what you do and the outcome of what you should do or not do.
Whatever does
Right.
that, that's the safety feature. Then I apologize. You're a coward.
Safety.
All
No, no, you're right. Yeah.
No, I get where he was coming from as far as that feeling, that gut feeling. You if you go off a cliff and you be like, oh no. See, but that ain't the ego. The ego is the shit that's talking to you like,
100%. Like,
oh
do that shit.
yeah. And let's be honest. Does the ego working? You can use it for confidence to work in your benefit, but does it actually
Yes.
work for us generally? It don't work for us generally.
Well, if you're
Right.
It
aware
don't.
that it can be wrong, seriously wrong, sometimes that's a great tool because now you kind of have an answer of where to go. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
So we might have to
Right.
go in. We might have to do this matrix thing next, man, just to
Yeah, the
connect the
Matrix thing
dots
is
with
next.
everything.
Yo, I'm gonna just say something real quick on that. Did you see how now people are saying binary numbers to AI programs and binary numbers to Siri and
Right behind everything is a binary code.
yup. And yo, the lady just said it to what's the thing called? Alexa. She just said Alexa and then said binary numbers, said these key binary numbers. It shut off. It said it shut off. It won't come back on at all. It's shut
But how
down
about this
completely.
though? See, and this was gonna be the reference point to the next topic as far as that. Like Sam Harris got a TED talk out called the simulation. They're basically trying to figure out are we in a simulation because there's too many comparisons between the computer programming and what we know
Mm-hmm.
now. Even with
Yeah,
quantum
that's it.
physics, basic quantum physics 101, like I said before, things do things constantly, but it only like you can roll a ball in quantum world through a wall, but once you put consciousness to it, that ball ain't going through that wall. So that means
Exactly.
we're able to access things. We just gotta tweak this consciousness and this frequency, basically.
Yep. No, you're
Consciousness,
right.
consciousness is the wild card. It's the
So
wild
we,
card.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
we
the
gotta come up. We gotta come up with the next one. But yeah, I'm here, man. Just I'll definitely be on it, man. We hitting like 2 hours now, y'all.
yeah,
So
we gonna wrap it up. We gonna wrap it
We
up.
still got 15
yeah.
people
So
in
yo,
here.
blessings, y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'm here on the next one. You
Shout
know,
out
I'm
Bush. Shout out B Rad. Shout
yeah.
out
Shout out
KB,
Bush.
man.
Shout out. Yep. Shout out everybody. Shout out you too,
Definitely.
brother.
Shout out everybody. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say. I apologize. Before there was a comment that it was James Hudson was saying he's like, "Yo, help these guys get to 10,000 subs." He's like, they're one away. And then Shell S went and subbed for us. So apparently Bush just hit on Bull Light
Yeah.
10,000 subscribers. So that's pretty
That's
solid.
what's up.
Oh,
Yo,
that's what's
shout out to
up.
the
That's what's up.
subscribers.
That's
Big,
what's up. And I'm gonna
big.
do my
Shout
part
out to
too.
the
You know
subs.
somebody, even if they don't watch the show, get them to subscribe, man, and like.
Absolutely, absolutely. We just got to keep hitting them with the same content, y'all. That's it.
Until
Absolutely.
next time,
Absolutely.
y'all stay on top of it, man. It's the Bull Light Show,
Yeah.
man.
Yep,
Whatever you
yep.
guys
All
want
right,
to hear
y'all.
about too, put it in the comments. Let us know what you want to talk about in the future. Give us the ideas because there's a whole lot of this shit. What rabbit holes have you been down?
Exactly.
All right, y'all.
Y'all
I see you on the next one. Peace.
be
Yeah,
safe out
fellas.
there.
Peace.